Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday, April 19th, 2010. City Council meeting is now 7:04, and we're going to start our meeting. I'd like to get started, call to order. The invocation will be given by First Baptist Church of Homestead, Pastor Howard Harden, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be given by myself, Steve Bateman. So, Pastor Harden, if you'd come forward, please. Sir.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we pause before you right now, following in the example of our founding fathers, in order to acknowledge you and to thank you for your many blessings. We truly thank you for all of the public servants that are represented here tonight. We thank you for the freedom to govern ourselves. For the ability to govern ourselves, we rely upon you. We ask for your wisdom tonight in all that we do, and I pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Please let us pay respect to this great country by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Forward, on. Right, face. Forward, march.
Please be seated. Full house tonight. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Burgess?
Here.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Here.
Councilman Maldonado?
Here.
Councilman Shelley?
Here.
Councilman Williams?
Here.
Vice Mayor Waldman? Mayor Bateman?
Here. First item on the agenda, public comments. Please step forward. Public comments, we'll keep to 3 minutes or less. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Bateman and Council. My name is Yvonne Knowles. I'm the Director of Homestead Main Street. I'm here on 2 points. One, to talk about an upcoming event in Homestead. That's the second annual Biscayne Everglades Greenway Bike Festival on May 1st, and we're inviting the public to participate. All the information is on www.active.com. It's the 62-mile, which is a metric century ride, leaving downtown Homestead, touring through the Redlands up to Chiquita National Park, and then back down to Homestead, and a luncheon served at the Capri restaurant afterwards, included in the price. So find out about it on the website. We hope you can make it. This is Judy Waldman's event. She started the bike festival, and this is our second annual. So we're very proud to have this event once again in Homestead. Now I'd like to introduce to you a wonderful young man who I had the pleasure to meet last weekend. His name is Adam Beal. Adam is on a bicycle ride from Anchorage, Alaska to Argentina, and he's coming by way of Florida right now. And I'd like to introduce to you at this time Mr. Adam Beal.
Thank you, Yvonne. Like she said, my name is Adam Beal, and I am doing a ride called Adventure for Autism. I started on June 26th in Anchorage, Alaska, and I've been on the road for almost 10 months. On Thursday, I had the pleasure of being welcomed into the city by Mayor Steve Bateman and Councilman John Burgess, as well as the city manager, Sergio Perinos. Sorry. And they awarded me with a plaque on behalf of all the work that I've been doing for the autism spectrum disorders. I'd also like to thank Mayor Steve Bateman and John Burgess for personally giving and donating to my cause. As well, I'd like to thank the Value Place Hotel and the owner, Sylvia Bernstein, for all her efforts in helping me and giving me a place to stay while I'm here. However, I have some bad news. On Friday, I was in Calle Ocho, and I had my backpack stolen, which had my laptop and my passport and my journal and a lot of other stuff in it. However, not to tarnish the view of South Florida, everyone here has really stepped up and really helped me. Like the Value Place Hotel is letting me stay there as long as I need to get everything figured out. As well, Sylvia Bernstein, the owner there, gave me money to replace the money that was stolen. Miguel Villanueva and William Laura gave me this computer to replace the one that was stolen. So I just want to thank you all so much for stepping up and helping me and my cause during this time. As well, that the website where you can follow my journey is www.adventureforautism.com. And if you happen to hear anything or have friends or anyone who happens to come across my journal, it's a black moleskin. It has my name and information at the front. It has the past, 2010's journal entries in it. So it has, since January of this year, everywhere that I've been and everything that I've done and the people that I've met and all the information and kind of pretty much an entire book worth of entries in that. So if you find out about that, please let me know. Once again, the website where you can follow my journey is www.adventureforautism.com. And once again, thank you, City of Homestead, for all that you've done for me.
Adam. Thank you. As you know, that I'm a father of a 15-year-old autistic boy, and what you're doing is very, very, very special. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I know Homestead thanks you.
Thank you.
God bless you, and have a safe journey.
I will.
Mayor, may I, Susan? Adam, I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there Saturday. My mother's been really sick, but I'm a grandmother of a 10-year-old autistic child. 11. He's 11 years old now. And I thank you so much, and I'd like to make a donation as well. I'm sorry I couldn't be there on Saturday. And please, if you find his journal, please, I think maybe there should be a reward or something out there for that.
I do have, in the front of the journal, there's a $50 reward should you find it, and I have my email address, and I'll get information to people.
Well, God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Yes, sir.
Kevin Sullivan, 1860 Southeast 6th Court. I'm here tonight as a resident, and I'd like to make a little comment about some information I received today. Today, I learned that we've gone to the new bulky waste pickup. Now, I don't know what kind of schedule. I have no idea. All I know is I've heard time and time again that this would be given out to the public, this new schedule, before anything happened. I talked with one of the people from Solid Waste, and I talked to Milton, the supervisor, and both of them told me that today is the start. This week is the start of the new schedule. I do not think that that's proper notice. I believe that we have to look at this situation. I know overtime kills us in the budgetary process, and I'm sure the city manager looks at that very carefully. However, this was not what was promised to us, and I'm very concerned that this is the way it's going. What's going to happen when we go to the single stream recycling? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Sherelle Burgess, and I'm the wife of Councilman John Burgess, and this is our son. And I'm here today to promote a cause that's dear to me, and that's animal rescue. And this is the dog, is our group that we volunteer for. This is the President Barbara St. Aubin, and we're going to have a fundraiser at the White Lion on May the 8th, and it's called Yappy Hour, and it's a beach bash theme. And we'd like to invite everybody here, the mayor and the council, if they can come. And it's going to be a fun time. You bring your dog, dress them in their best beach wear, We're going to be looking for the best beach dude, surfer dude, bikini dog. So we'd like to invite everyone, and I would like to let Barbara just say a few words about This Is the Dog.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Mayor Bateman, Council. This is a dog. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, so all the proceeds, let's just start at the front there, go towards spay, neuter, medical, that goes to all the animals that we take in. We do not have a shelter. That's a question everybody asks. We don't have anywhere to put the animals that we take in. We get about 20 calls, 30 emails a day. Oh, I'm surrendering my animal, we're moving. So all of our volunteers foster these animals that we take in. Yappy Hour is going to be a great event at the White Lion. It's a local restaurant. Many of you have probably been there. Some of you look familiar, and I know a lot of you probably have dogs. Bring your dog. As Sherelle said, dress them up. We're going to have contests. We're going to have a silent auction. And again, all the proceeds will go to our organization. We're also going to be participating in the Relay for Life. We'll have a tent there. We're going to have dog walking. As we did last year, it was a very popular event. If you don't have a dog, come out and walk a dog for $5 around the track. It's a great event to benefit the American Cancer Society. We show at Petco on Saturdays, every 2 Saturdays a month, with all of the adoptable dogs. Our website is www.thisisthedog.com. You can see our shirts. Can I ask for questions? Does everybody have questions?
I have a question, Mayor.
Okay.
Sure, please.
What time?
Yappy Hour, 6:30 to 9. Okay, and then after 9,
We have invites and stuff. So I'll just read it to you, and I can leave it here when we leave if anyone would like to take one. It says, join This Is the Dog at the White Lion Cafe for Yappy Hour, Saturday, May the 8th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Fun food and prizes, silent auctions with great items. We've got the YMCA's donated a membership, Skydive Miami donated a skydive, all kinds of things you can come out and win. And all proceeds will benefit This Is the Dog. We're asking for a $5 donation at the door. And any information, you can call 508-PETS. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And we're still accepting donations, too, for the silent auction in case anybody wants to donate.
Thank you very much.
And sorry, my son would like to say one last thing.
Sure, go ahead. He gets 3 minutes.
Please spay neuter pets. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Patricia Faircloth McCormick, 424 Southeast 37th Place. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and all of you in your respective places. I come to you as a teacher for 10 years and as a resident to thank our parents, students, and our elected officials for the role that all of you played in standing in solidarity with teachers for the past couple of weeks and helping us to defeat and derail Senate Bill 6, which was that bad bill that was supposed to overhaul education in the state of Florida. And I would just like to publicly thank this council for offering a resolution in opposition of this bill. They sent it to the governor, and on Thursday, he vetoed that bill. And although we won the battle, we have not won the war. This bill will be back in next year's legislative session. So I'm asking all of you to email our governor to personally thank him, because I know that placed him in a difficult position, and to implore you to stay involved, stay active, be proactive, so that when this bill comes back next year, we can sit to the table with viable solutions to reform education in Florida, to move us from nearly worst to first. So from my heart to your hands, I thank all of you for supporting our teachers in this city and in this district. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know I had 28 seconds left, and I forgot 2 very important things. The Peruvian restaurant Tequila Rock, the Thomasina, by the people I've been here as well. There's a new restaurant, Portofino, has also offers Cuban food, so I just wanted to thank both of them.
Avenue. I have a nursery in the backyard of my house, and I'm concerned about this water issue, whether well, for one thing, we're paying too much for utilities already, I feel. I've talked to a lot of people, and they say the same thing. I don't know if this is the first I've heard of it when I received the card in the mail. And I have a pump. I have a well in my house, and I have the pump, and I water my plants with that pump. But I'm afraid that I might be monitored, or not monitored, but restricted from using that as far as with water conservation and stuff. Because in the summertime, I've got to water my plants at least once a day in the morning, just to keep them alive, because it gets so hot and stuff. Also, like I said, I'd like to repeat. We're paying too much for utilities now. Every time I get my utility bill, I get angry when I see, especially the recycling bill. I've tried to recycle. Nobody will come out and pick up my recycling. I've called recycling. I get no answer. I just consider it a total ripoff. The city is ripping the people off when it comes to recycling, because I live in the old part of Homestead, and there's no recycling bins out there. The truck never comes. I'm telling the truth.
Sir, before you go further, let me help a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We haven't started recycling yet. Right now, currently, the county picks up your recycling. The city is about to start, and we are about to deliver you a brand-new can with wheels on it for you to put the recycling in. And if we don't pick it up then, you call me.
Okay, but I've got a question. Where has the money been going for 10, 15 years on this recycling?
Dade County.
Okay. Well, then Dade County needs to pay us back, I feel.
We've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay. No, that's all I'm just concerned the utilities, the water utilities going up. I don't want to see that happen. So. Well,
unfortunately, we are really being monitored now, and I'll turn it over to the department head here in a second. We paid a pretty significant fine already this year. Water is becoming a very hot commodity, and that's why you see South Florida Water Management as such a strong horse. I mean, they are involved in everyone's life now, because water is something very valuable, and we're going to have to eventually learn how to use it very responsibly, very, 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 very wisely. Yeah. And if you'd like to say something at this point, Julio, would be great. What we went through already with South Florida Water Management, and what we're about to go through with our new usage.
Correct. Just to respond to your first comment regarding the use of your pump for irrigation, these new rates will not impact, it would only impact water coming from the city. So it would not impact any pump or well that you have that's privately owned. We don't monitor that at all. Regarding the rate adjustment that we're going to be speaking about today, it's not a rate increase. What we're doing is we're trying to modify the rate structure to basically incentivize people to preserve water, which means that the less water that you use, the less you will pay per 1,000 gallons of water. So if you conserve water, you would actually get a discount compared to the water that you're using now. But if you're like a water waster, if you're using water that's way above the average consumption of a regular residence, you will be paying a little bit more for that water. And the whole idea is to get people to think before they use the water and make sure that if they can conserve, to go ahead and conserve, and they'll see the results in their bill by either a reduction or an increase if they go well above the average water consumption for a residential unit in the city of Homestead.
Okay. But the conservation of the water won't affect me as far as, or any other nursery that's in the set of Homestead having their own wells and pumps then, right?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
It will not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Charlene Richard. I would like to start off by saying thank you very much, Adam, for all you're doing for autism. As a mother to a 12-year-old autistic child, I thank you. My concerns today are in regards to water, but we are in the... Yeah, okay. As my concerns are, this is the gateway to, as it is in the West, residential use, restricting outdoor use of water. I'm a little concerned about that because I do live in the city. I do have a small vegetable garden. I've put in fruit trees. In the last 4 years, we've spent approximately $20,000+ just on the landscaping and improving our home. We have xeriscape as well, but we have participated in having a small garden, having small fruit trees and things like that. I'm worried that it's just going to go from restricting indoor use. You're going to say, okay, we're going to do you only use so much now and you get rewarded. Well, next door is, okay, now we're just going to restrict it to indoor use, as they do out west, and then saying, well, you can't use only so much water outside. That's my concern here, and I would like to know if that's something that's going to be looked at in the future as far as more water controls coming down the pike.
Well, those water controls come down from the state of Florida, and we're put under watch. Therefore, you're put under watch. Mm-hmm. And I think what we might ought to do is, since it's a pretty heavy group tonight, that we might want to move to legislative matters ahead of time, because I imagine the majority of these people, who's all here for the water issue? Would you mind raising your hand? No. Okay, we won't move it forward then. No. Just kidding. But yes, ma'am. I think that most of your questions were answered by the first gentleman's. Look, if you're on a well, if that's what you're watering your garden, what are you watering your garden with now?
That we're on city.
City
we do
water?
Not have a well at all.
Well, that's going to be very expensive for you, I would think. I mean, even now, forget
well,
what,
I do follow
what's
the
about
water
to happen.
codes, and the way our structure is, it's almost xeriscape as far as using hardly any water, planting and things like that. But we just spent the last 10 months looking for property out west, mm-hmm. and we ran into the water issue, and that's what took us so long. And then I come back from a trip and I see this card, and I'm like, oh no, are we going to be facing that here? What's going on, as far as, is this going to be a gateway to saying household use only, and you can only use outdoor water so much or not at all, and start restricting it more and more as they do. And maybe my concerns are a little bit much at this time, but how much restriction is there going to be? Right now it seems like it's a reward system. It's like you use less and you don't pay as much, but what's going to be coming
This
down
is kind of a reward program from the city of Homestead. We're trying to reward people so that we can get a mindset that it's it's a real issue and it's going to happen, and we're going to be restricted to so many thousands of gallons or millions of gallons of water a day. Mr. Bria, can you touch bases what she's...
Yeah, I could add a little more information. Basically, the state has put a limit on how much water every utility can take out of the Biscayne Aquifer. The Biscayne Aquifer is a limited resource of water. So the whole idea is they're trying to conserve it as much as possible and trying to avoid wasteful use of that water. What they've done with not only the city of Homestead, but with many other utilities, is they're trying to basically mandate utilities to create conservation-based water rate structures, which is what we're trying to do here. The whole idea, what we're trying to do here, it's not raise water rates, but actually promote water conservation by penalizing people who use too much water. Now, the way we looked at it is we looked at the average consumption for a residential unit in the city of Homestead, and we said, if you use twice that amount, you're still going to be paying the same rate that you're paying now. We're only going after the people who abuse it beyond that, beyond doubling the the average water consumption for a residential unit. So that's what we are trying to achieve with this tiered rate structure. And it's not something that we're doing it because we just came up with it on our own. We've been mandated by the state of Florida, by the South Florida Water Management District, to create this tiered system, which is basically the county uses it as well. Ours is, if you look at the rates that the county charges for their residents compared to ours, we are a quarter. Even on our worst case scenario, the biggest abuser of our water, they would pay a quarter of what they would pay per 1,000 gallons if they lived in the county. So that's something to keep in mind. What we're trying to do is not, as a matter of fact, when we did the numbers, the city's not making any extra revenue out of this rate adjustment. We're just setting certain limits to either reward people that conserve water or penalize people that use too much water.
Are you changing the rates? Are you changing the water, the usage rate? Like if it's 1,200 gallons now, are you changing that and making it lower?
There is, well, right now we have a flat rate, which means that everybody pays exactly the same regardless of what their usage is. What this rate structure will do is, if you use, just to give you an example, the first tier is up to 3,000 gallons per month. If you use up to 3,000 gallons, you get a 25% reduction on what you pay per 1,000 gallons. So you're actually getting a discount. If you use up to 9,000 gallons per month, which is twice the average consumption for a residential unit in the city of Homestead, you're paying exactly the same thing you're paying now. You will get no rate increase. You will pay exactly the same rate that you're paying now. It's only those that are above that 9,000 gallon per month consumption. Those are the ones that are going to pay from 9,000 to 14,000. They will pay a 12% increase, just 12%. And those above the 14,000 gallons per month, which I don't see many people reaching that level, those would pay a 35% increase in their water rates. But at the end of the day, the numbers, when you add up all the consumption and all the revenues that the city is collecting from this, we're making exactly the same thing that we were collecting before. We're just trying to incentivize conservation, which we are required by a consent agreement that we signed with the South Florida Water Management District.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much.
You know, if there's no objections, I think we've talked twice on it. If the council has no objections, let's move to legislative matters, item 8, and we'll get that out of the way for the 15 or 20 people that we hear. 1 second. Any objections?
No. Do we need to make a motion for that, or?
No.
Without objection. It would be noted without objection.
No objection. Okay. Let's move to that. It's item 8, tab 14.
In order to the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 28 Utilities, Article 2 Water, Division 2 Service Rates and Charges, Section 28-41 Rate Schedule to amend the water utility rate schedule in order to provide for a conservation-based tiered water utility rate structure, providing for repeal of Section 2841 rate schedule, providing for severability, inclusion in the code, conflicts, and an effective date. This is the second reading and public hearing.
I'll move for a motion to move forward. Thank you. Second?
Second it.
Thank you. Staff report.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, if we could just have the comments that these people have made already and Mr. Abreu's comments incorporated into the record under this item,
okay,
so that
they
become part of the permanent record.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mayor,
yes,
Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, in addition to what the Director has indicated already, there's really not much.
There's no way around it. Yeah.
He pretty much nailed on every issue and all the the advantages of going into this program, and disadvantages in the event that you go beyond the usage that is permissible. Now, we have built a cushion that's double the average already. So for any given person to go beyond that point, it would be pretty tough. It would be very seldom that we will find a user that goes beyond the 9,000 gallon per month guideline. Beyond that, between 9 and 14,000, then is when you are experiencing that 12% additional cost. And beyond that, the 14,000 gallons per month, that's when you get hit with a 35% increase. But the average is anywhere between 4,500 and 5,000 gallons per month per resident on a monthly basis. We're doubling again. We're building in a cushion to really give the residents enough usage before they start spending more than what they do today.
Mayor?
Yeah, Mr. Shelley is in waiting. Go ahead, sir.
I just want to make a quick comment or two. Just and clarify me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is this wasn't initiated by the City of Homestead. We didn't look at it and say we want to initiate a new tiered rate system. This South Florida Water Management came to us and said, if you don't comply with what we're proposing, we are going to essentially shut the water off to the City of Homestead. So we will no longer be able to draw from the aquifer, and we will not be able to provide water to our residents. So in order for us to continue to provide that water, we had to comply with what the South Florida Water Management presented to us. And so that's what this is now a result of, is what they've said we have to do. So we're coming back and trying to do it in a manner that is the least onerous to our residents, that gives you the most protection, and that's what our staff has tried to do. And as I understand it from the prior conversations, the first reading of this issue, most of our residents will in fact result in a reduction on their rate, correct? Not an increase. So this is actually somewhat of a positive thing for the average resident. Those who consume a lot may see some sort of a difference, but again, it wasn't initiated by us, the city. This is the mandate by South Florida Water Management. We're doing what we can to protect you. That's all.
This law by the state of Florida?
Sir, you can't speak out. You gotta wait your turn. Under public hearing, you can come up. Mr. Williams.
Yeah. Mayor, I just want to clarify something. Maybe, Julio, you used some pretty words like discount and reward. Would you expand that? How am I going to save when these restrictions are coming, and you're saying that I'm going to get a 25 or 12% discount or a reward for being conserving the water? Explain that process, because I don't see how is it being passed down to the resident?
Absolutely. This is a rate structure that this is what the residents will see in their bill. So basically, let's say right now the current rate for water is $1.11 per 1,000 gallons. That's regardless of how much a resident will use on a monthly basis. Now, what this rate structure will do is, if a particular customer will use less than 3,000 gallons per month, he will pay only 80 cents per 1,000 gallons. He will get that discount. If he spends or uses between 3,000 and 9,000 gallons per month, he will pay the exact rate that he's paying now, $1.11, which is exactly what he's being charged right now. If he goes above the 9,000 gallon per month threshold, they would pay $1.25 per 1,000 gallons. And again, if you go above the 14,000 gallons per month consumption, they will go to $1.50 per 1,000 gallons. And that's really where you see there's the reward side of it, as well as the additional cost to try to make you realize that, hey, you are spending more water than you should be. And where we put those limits, we try to be like city manager stated. We try to be we try to build in as much cushion as possible to make sure that most of our residents would be either paying what they're paying now or a little less. If you compare it to the average resident that spends, I think the actual number is 4,800 gallons per month. That's what a typical household spends in the city of Homestead. We went to 9,000 before anybody would have to pay extra per 1,000 gallons for this. And again, this is not something that the city came up on their own. Like Councilman Shelley stated, this is mandated by the state of Florida. We have to comply with this. It is tied to our water use permit that the city has to reapply to the South Florida Water Management District, which is the government agency that regulates the water and how it's used in the South, in basically South Florida. And we, along with all utilities, are being made to follow this criteria. As I stated before, the county is also doing exactly the same thing. They've been doing it for several years actually already, because it was tied to their renewal of their permit when they went out for a permit renewal. They were mandated to go to this type of water rate tiered structure. And their rates are much higher than ours, as I stated previously, but this is something that we have to comply with.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, at the Committee of the Whole, I did raise the question. I wanted to make sure that this is not translated into a rate increase for our residents. Now, you have to understand we're customers, too. And so after lengthy discussion, which was exactly what the director just stated, he assured me that the average customer would actually see a rate decrease and that that portion of the utility bill will go down. So what I did that night is I went home, I took out my bill. I saw that I indeed was below the average of what he says average residents in the city of Homestead consume. And so as an alert consumer, we're presenting you tonight with the fact that an average customer's rate will go down. This is what we're saying. This is what our staff is telling us. So what I did is I noted what the rate was this past utility bill, and I just compared going forward, because if this is indeed true, then we should see going forward savings. Now, that's the, what is the option if we do not pass this tonight? What is the alternative to voting it down? What would be the penalty for it?
If this doesn't get passed, basically the city will be in non-compliance with the water use permit that we have with the state of Florida, basically the South Florida Water Management District. They would reduce the water that we can take from the Biscayne Aquifer. And basically, when we go back to reapply for our new water allocations, which are due in a year and a half, is when we go back to reapply for a new application, we would probably be mandated to go beyond, not to use the Biscayne Aquifer, but use the Floridian Aquifer, which is a deeper water source. It's got saline, it's saline in nature, so it's got salt water mixed in with it, which requires a much higher treatment process than what we do now, which would result in very much higher water rates than what we have right now. So we're trying to make sure that we continue using the Biscayne Aquifer under the guidelines that the South Florida Water Management District has stipulated.
Madam Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. First of all, if we have to do that, then the rates would increase, without a doubt, with all the treatment that we would have to do to get the salt out. So as far as I'm concerned, that's it. But I want to ask a couple questions. I wanted you to repeat the percentage. Did the manager to say 25%, or is it 50% of our consumers now use 3,000 gallons and lower? I heard two figures, and I want to make sure.
Under this new tiered structure, 85% of our customers would pay the same or less than what they pay now.
That's wonderful. And how long will it take before the people who are striving hard to use less water, how long would it take before they start seeing that savings in their bill?
Immediately. As soon as we read the meter, that reading will be applied to the new rate structure. So in essence, they would see the savings that very month.
Do you have any so 85%, so there's very few people that actually go over that $9,000 that 9,000 gallon mark.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a percentage, I'm sure it's in the single digits, as to anyone that normally goes over the 14,000?
The 14, I'm just doing some rough numbers here. You're talking, it's less than 1,000 customers out of 18,000. So
I mean, we have no choice, but we've tried to protect you the best we know to do so without raising your rates, having to bring in new treatment plants. Besides that, we'd probably have to build. We wouldn't even know how to start doing that without spending a fortune in infrastructure. So, thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. Any further discussion from council?
One quick question.
Yes, Mr. Burgess.
To Julio, are there any special exceptions if a customer does use that amount of water and has to use it to sustain their business? Or is there any way they can come forward with a special exception to keep their bill down? This is just a question. I'm sure somebody here may have that question. So, or if there's a special circumstance at all on their usage, can a customer come with anything?
If I may, this ordinance only changes the residential structure. It does not affect the commercial customer.
Right. But a home, for instance, if somebody has a residential but is growing stuff in their backyard as a subsidiary to their...
My recommendation would be to go into a pump system and go down and use a well for irrigation purposes.
Just putting that out there, see if somebody had a question.
It could be
substantial.
It could be substantial.
Let me ask Mr. Brea, what is the rate? Is it 2.75 times your water rate when it comes to the sewage rate, flushing the toilet each time? What is that rate? If it's $1 per gallon for regular water that we drink, what is it when we flush the toilet? Isn't it a different rate? 2.75 times?
Well, you get charged for water that you consume and also for the wastewater that you produce.
Which is how much?
Which is
more.
Basically, it's like double what? Double, yes, like a little bit more than double, but it is double because that wastewater has to be treated before we can return it to the environment.
Fair to say we have no way to differentiate whether they're flushing the toilet or using the water from the sink, so we charge them X for the water and X for the wastage, the sewage, right? The flushing.
Correct. There's no way to differentiate one from the other because the wastewater is not, you can't meter it. So you meter the water coming into the house, not the water coming out of the house.
Wouldn't it behoove them to get a well permit, sink the well, versus use water at that higher rate?
Well, that is exactly what the district is trying to do with these type of mandates. They're trying to curb the way that people look at water and basically make them think before they use it, so that they use it for the right purposes, not use it in a wasteful manner. So that's the whole idea behind these type of things, to conserve water and not use the water that's treated for potable purposes for types of uses that don't require potable water.
Drinkable water. And there are some communities that have reclaiming. They reclaim their water usage from watering their yard, washing their car, and other things. Correct?
Correct. And as a matter of fact, the city of Homestead, all the wastewater that gets generated by the city and goes to our treatment plant is 100% recycled. 100% of that water goes back into the aquifer at a water quality level that's equal or higher than the canal water that surrounds us here.
Okay. If there's no further discussion from council, I'd like to open up the public. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we now will open this up to the public. Please come forward to the podium and speak. At this point, if there's anyone to speak in favor of it, we'll speak first. If you're speaking not in favor of it, second. Anybody in favor?
I have a question. You're only talking about water at this moment.
Yes, ma'am.
All other public comments are set aside for the moment?
Correct.
Okay.
We finished that segment of the...
No, I think you interrupted it.
Yes, I did. You're right.
Okay. So what is the pleasure at this moment?
Is the water...
The water issue.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm still waiting.
Okay.
She's in queue.
I didn't see anybody else up there. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Come on up.
Mr. Mayor, council member, my name is Peter Prasad. I got this notice today after coming back from Pensacola. After listening to our utility officer, I'm in support of conserving water. I stayed 4 nights in Pensacola, Panama City, Ocala, Tallahassee. And each of the hotels there had a sign, conserve water. If there's a way that the city can put into the utility bill, the insert, a nice sign saying, conserve water and save, that would be helpful. Because if we conserve water, we are conserving it for a future generation. Because water is very precious, not only for South Florida, but if you drive up I-27, going up to Tallahassee, you would see the value placed on conserving water. I have a commercial building downtown, and I don't know if this would affect me, but if it does have to, then I'm going to go after our commercial tenants and ask them simply, we need to help our city, we need to conserve water, and as such I would like to state my position is I fully support in conserving water. It is our God-given right and our environmental need at this time to do so. It will not affect anything that we would do if we be responsible for the way we conserve water for our own future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Tony McKnight. I live at 220 Northeast 12th Avenue, Lot 193, Cocowac Estates. As an individual homeowner, I absolutely support the idea of conserving water, and I think everybody should be involved in conserving water. It's a very precious resource. I do have a question. Our Homeowners Association has been struggling for 5 or 6 years now with trying to find water leaks in our community. Some of the people on your staff have worked with us. Does the Homeowners Association come under residential or commercial use? How will our REITs be effective? And we've already made some calls to make an appointment to meet with you again to talk about how we can work with you to try and find leaks and reduce our usage.
Through the chair, Mr. Bria.
Regarding associations and multifamily units, et cetera, they will be treated the same exact way that they're treated now. If it's treated as a residential connection, then it will be following this rate structure. If it's a commercial, then it will follow the same commercial designation that it currently has. So we're not changing how we assign types of customers. We're just changing the rate structure on the residential side.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
My name is Frank Dasick, 920 Northwest 6th Avenue. I've been involved in water conservation since 1977. And the biggest problem I've seen here, I've seen in the last 30 years, the city of Homestead has given away property, built houses, fancy parks, elaborate sprinkler systems, and I think what's happening now with the saltwater intrusion, which I knew this was going to happen many years ago, I think it's probably going to be too late. As far as I'm concerned, they should stop building, take care of what they have, and work on the problems we have, and don't create any new ones. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. On this issue.
I would also like to speak in favor of the water conservation issue. My name is Alice Clark. I live at 1280 South Audubon Drive. And this is a 40th anniversary of Earth Day this week, so it's perfect timing to be thinking about water conservation. One thing I'd like to suggest, something that's always been a little confusing to me as a consumer, is that when I receive my utility bill, I see under consumption just a number, 2.0, 3.0, and I don't know what that is. So it sounds like that's 2,000 gallons. It would be, I think it would be helpful in terms of an educational, from an educational perspective, to let people know more detail about what their consumption is. And even if it falls, you know, if I have 2 versus 3, does that mean I use 2.99 thousand gallons. I think if you could give more specific information about the consumption, then as we install water-saving features in our homes, we'd have a better idea as to, to what extent are we really conserving water. So I'm all for this. I understand that it was kind of brought on the City of Homestead by the Water Management District, but I think it's a good thing. It's overdue.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Tawana McCracken. I'm a resident of Waterstone. I have a question. I want to know why is Miami-Dade billing us every 3 months? Well, when I was a resident of Miami-Dade, they was billing us every 3 months for water bill, and you bill us every month for water.
Can somebody answer that? Because I can't.
We bill on a monthly basis. They do it every 3 months. It's just how they're billing. They have so many customers that for them it's easier to do mass billings every 3 months rather than do it on a monthly basis like we do it. But that doesn't impact how much you get charged. It's all based on the amount of water that you use, whether you get billed on a 3-month portion at a time or on a monthly basis. It's still based on the rate structure and the rate that you're being charged for the water that you're using.
Well, it seems that Homestead's rates is higher than Miami-Dade.
The water rates are not higher than Miami-Dade. They are much lower, like a quarter.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I am Juanita Smith from Homestead Soup Kitchen. I understand concerning the consumption, but I do have a question about the water service charge. When you apply for water, you pay a fee. So that's actually the service there. So why are you charged a water service charge with a consumption? Why you charge the water service charge every month when you've paid it already?
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
Basically, your water bill is split up into 2 types of charges. One is, in this case, it will be a water service charge, which is a flat fee that basically pays for the capital cost that it takes to or the capital investment that the city or whatever utility puts into the actual installation and operation of the actual facilities. Now, the second part is a consumption fee, which is what this impacts. We're not changing anything on the water service charge. That stays the same. This is just on the consumption side. Basically, what this covers is the actual pumping of the water, the actual electricity that we use to do that, the chemicals that we use to treat it, and the power consumption and the manpower that it takes to basically convert the raw water to potable drinking water safe for anybody to use.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, ma'am.
My name is Ettabel Duncan. I live in Centergate, in Keysgate, and I went home this evening and I found a bill almost for $600. Now, I want to know what happens to the management fee that I pay every month to the association to pick up my trash. I don't usually use the water from the tap for drinking. I go out and I buy my own water for consumption. Now, my management fee is almost $500 a month. And what I see here is almost $600 a month. I'm just hoping that this is a mistake, because no way can I afford to pay management fee plus this. And I hope you gentlemen will look into this situation. I'm a retired person, and I do not have that kind of money to pay out. Thank you.
Ma'am, can we get a copy of that?
Sure.
Please? Thank you. Madam Clerk. Just 1 second. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we're going to continue with public comment. We'll move back to the council here now. Yes, sir. I already cut him off. What's up? Cut him
I'm
off.
Sal Nicotra, 482 Southeast 20th Drive. My question is you say that you pump the contaminated water back into the aquifer?
You mean in terms of wastewater? No, it's treated to basically secondary drinking water standards. And that water is returned to the aquifer beyond the point, not where we pick it up. So it's well beyond, and it goes out into the bay basically after it gets, after it travels in the aquifer, you know, until it reaches the bay basically.
And you're telling me the aquifer doesn't replenish itself, being that we're surrounded by a peninsula of water?
Well, the way the water flows through the state of Florida, it originates near Lake Okeechobee, and it basically travels southeast along, basically underneath is what we call is an underground river, basically. It travels underneath the surface around 20 to 60 feet in depth, and that is the water that basically the Lake Okeechobee feeds the South Florida area for us to be able to use for potable purposes, which is what we use. Now, that water, we pull it out, we pull the water out of the ground northwest of where we put it back into the ground, so they would never mix. But in essence, the water that we put back into the ground is cleaner than the water we pump out. It's actually treated to a higher level than what is actually there.
You're still putting contaminated water back in the aquifer?
It's not contaminated because it's actually a higher water quality than the canal water that surrounds us right now. So it's not contaminated.
Is it worse than the aquifer's water?
It is worse than the aquifer water, yes. I mean, no, it's better than the aquifer water. It's better than the aquifer water, yes.
Well, to me, it sounds like this is all just a big expansion and more rates somewhere down the road, and also like a UN Agenda 21, to where they come in and basically want to regulate your water usage, your air you breathe, right on down to the smart grid technology that you guys are putting in. And to me, it sounds like a huge expansion of government into our personal lives.
Well,
and also, if this isn't law, why are we being forced, and why is our council being forced and our mayor being forced to do this, if it's not law?
It is law because it is mandated by the state of Florida, the South Florida Water Management District. We have a consent agreement that we signed with them that we would create this type of rate structure. So we do have to adhere by it or be penalized. Did you check with the
people yet?
What was that?
Did you check with the people yet?
Well, again, we're not the ones that created this. This is mandated on us.
We delegate the power to everyone around here.
Okay, we need to wrap it up. Everybody gets 3 minutes, and I sent the city clerk out to do something else, and she didn't time you, so please bring it to a close, whatever your point you're making here.
Well, the point is that I believe this is a large expansion that we do not need.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Any further discussion on this in favor or against? Hearing no further discussion, I will close the public hearing at this time. And, sir, were you going to say something? I don't want to cut you off. Okay, thank you. Hearing no further discussion, any further discussion from council?
I move the previous question.
I just wanted to say, is it Ms. Duncan?
She called for the...
I'm sorry, I'll see what your last name is. I'm sorry, Ms. Duncan. You're in, where is Ms. Duncan? Right here. You're in Centergate. So you need to contact your homeowner, your president of your, what are you, condo number what?
I think he's here.
Condo 8? Because your bills are paid through your maintenance. Because I know, because I pay my mother's bills and she's in condo 6. So this bill is like 6, 7 months old. It says service billing period. Yes, you're right, Mr. Williams. It's 2008 to 2010. So there's something wrong with your with the actual condo association that you're living in. You need to go see Miami Management, and you certainly shouldn't be billed this. Okay? So go to Miami Management tomorrow and make sure that you contact your president and let them help you, because something fell through the cracks. Exactly. Okay? You're welcome.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Williams,
Any
for pointing that out.
further comments from council? Hearing no further comments, we'll call roll.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes, and thank you for allowing us to defer. At this time, I'd like to move back to public comment. Please take the floor, ma'am. I apologize.
Hello, I'm Audrey Blair, and I live at 530 Southeast 21 Lane. I want to bring to the attention of the Commission and to the citizens that are still here the issues of our state legislature that is now in session, and they are looking at issues that eventually are going to come back to the city in regards to helping the individuals who need assistance with social services. That may be an individual with the Medicaid. It may be an individual with local service providers, which many of the county governments have access to some of those dollars, and to recommend that our city commissioners take an issue and perhaps a resolution supporting the efforts that are being made by the state legislators that are trying to provide funding over the next 3 to 5 years, but particularly in the year that we're in right now, in order that the citizens within the community are going to have services that they can access. And if they don't, if the state legislature says, no, we're not going to do that, they're going to come knocking on each one of our doors and saying, but you're the elected official. You have to help me. Government needs to help me to live at peace. And as a part of that, you have to help me, because I have no way, either at my age or in my disability, to go out and earn money. So the state offices and the committees are meeting currently to look at what is going to be the amount of money that is going to be granted to the local communities. And the state obviously has a vested interest in giving little, if none. And we, in our community, want to have as much as we can in order to provide services for our less fortunate fellow citizens. So I thank you, and that is my public comment.
Thank you, ma'am. And personally, I will be in Tallahassee tomorrow afternoon, so as I see each one of our legislators and state representatives and senators, I will definitely
it definitely is a really big issue. I am in social services and am the director of an adult daycare, an outstanding model program, and it really, the people come, and when you get to be 70 years of age and health has taken all of your money or taken a great deal of it, it's very difficult for you to go out and earn and get services, and so that's a part of it. But there's a whole lot more to it than that. Thank you.
And thank you, ma'am, for being concerned.
Mayor, if I could just kind of echo what our citizen just said. And since we came back from D.C., I had at least 5 calls from 5 different families within our communities, all of different age groups and sizes, asking for help, basically. So hearing our citizen that just came up and spoke about this, I would definitely like to either lead a charge or follow up with you and see how we could make sure that we're putting our finger on this, because it will come before us a lot more. I've noticed it, and we went to D.C. a month ago, 5 different calls, 5 different families. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other? Yes, sir.
How you doing? Good evening, Chair and Commissioners, gentlemen and ladies. I'm here today because I'm opening a company. It's already open. It's M&R Entertainment Music Community Center, and I'm trying to make a movement to bring back the community.
Would you please state your name and address?
I'm sorry, my name is Raymond Smith. My address is 288 and 157 Avenue. I'm trying to make a movement, trying to bring back the community where it's not just youth, because a lot of community services and buildings do everything for either youth or older adults. I'm trying to bring all the community together as well as a family unit. It's music, and my logo is actually music speaks to the soul, because there's a lot of people out there that music can make you cry, make you happy, or make you do things that you didn't want to do. So I'm just looking for help from the community and everybody else. If you would like to do it, I'm doing an event on Harris Field, May 22nd, and it's going to be a dance battle, freestyle battle, singing battle, and a lot of events, bouncy houses for the kids and everything else. Kids from 8 and under are free, and adults is $1. So basically, I'm trying to do it from what I come up with and what I fundraise for, and I'm trying to give back to the community and make it very cheap for everybody to enjoy themselves and be happy and basically love music, so it can give back to you and heal you. So if anybody can give any help, everybody that's in this room, I'm going to give you a free flyer, and you bring this flyer with you, and you can come in free, and also for y'all too.
Thank you.
So everybody have a blessed day, and I thank you and I appreciate you for your time.
Thank you, sir. You want to pass those to the city clerk? Give us 7 of them. Well, city manager, 8 of them. Any further public comment? Further public comment? Hearing none, let's move to item 4. Any deletions, additions, deletions, or deferrals at this point? Mr. Manager? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
She needs someone to translate.
Let's get through it. Let's just get through it. Can't wait till you come here so you can refer. I can't wait till you come here so you make these decisions whether you defer or not.
Her name is Doris Garballo.
Welcome.
2920 Northeast.
Homestead.
Homestead. They purchased a house recently. The house has lost value since they purchased it. They went ahead and did a loan modification since the Obama initiatives came out. And it's been a year and a half and they haven't gotten any help. She went to an agency called Satterlow Office. They have Chinese drywall also. It's like the previous lady had spoken. She's looking what can the government do for her? What can the Obama initiatives do for her? They're in distress. They need help. They don't know where to go or what to do.
Mr. Manager, can you refer this lady to at least some guidance?
What I'd like to do is get her information and have her come in tomorrow morning and through our building department and see what we can do to help.
See if she's been mistreated or misdirected.
whatever we can do, we'll try.
Mayor?
Okay, is she finished? Are you finished?
She's done.
Yeah, okay.
Can I-
Something we can do regarding the Chinese.
But Jerry, could you just ask her, she said she applied for a loan modification. Have they modified her mortgage through her mortgage company?
No, they have not.
They have not, but so she's only applied, she hasn't been approved for the loan modification.
She said a year and a half ago, she went to an agency to go ahead and assist her with the loan modification, and since then, nothing's transpired.
Is this agency in the city of Homestead?
The agency's in West Palm Beach.
No.
She's going to have to work with that agency in
Department,
West Palm Beach as a real estate professional, I can tell you that. And the loan modifications, they're just inundated, they're bombarded. I know tonight is the last night for the
NAC organization.
right, at the Miami Convention Center to have your mortgages reduced. But there's really nothing we can do as a city. And I'm sure she probably paid money to that agency.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's going to have to work through. I would suggest you call the Palm Beach County Police Department,
Sheriff's Department,
and maybe Chief Roll could help with some numbers tomorrow. But there's really not much we can do here in the city limits. If it had been an agency here in the city of Homestead that just took her money and then didn't do anything about it, then maybe yes, we could follow that through. But with that, and the Chinese drywall, I have a good friend sitting right here in the audience that she paid over almost $400,000 for her house, and it's just loaded with Chinese drywall, and it's going to cost her close to $100,000 or more. She told me more to repair that house, and that's a shame. That is a real shame. But that's all over the United States, and there's a class action suit that she should probably get associated with. And Dale, maybe when she walks out, maybe somebody that speaks Spanish, because Dale's from Australia, if somebody could interpret it, maybe Dale could get her number, and she could maybe give her some agencies that she could contact as far as Dale Woodbridge, everyone. So thank you very much. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Let's move to item 4. Any deletions, any additions, deletions, or deferrals?
Mr. Mayor?
Where's Richard, Mr. Weiss? Where's Mr. Weiss? We need Mr. Weiss.
He stepped off for a moment. He's, James
Okay,
is
go
here.
ahead, James. We got backup.
I have one item that I would like to pull at this time to a date certain of May 17, 2010. That's our next council, and that would be tab 19.
It's the next item.
It's the local tax receipts.
Okay, motion to anything additional. Also, we got item B here is being pulled, correct? B, the water conservation proclamation.
Yes.
That's B. So item
Correct.
B.
Yes.
Item B. So we have tab 19 and item B. Anything else?
That'll do, sir.
Okay, hearing none. Motion to defer those items?
Move it.
Thank you. Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Let's move to special presentations. I'd like to lead off, actually, Vice Mayor, why don't you lead off? Antique Auto Club of America, 2010 National Winter Meet. Is that gentleman still? There he is. God bless you. Thank you for hanging in there, sir. That's all right.
Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council, for this opportunity to be here. The purpose of my business here tonight is to say two very distinct thank yous. For those of you in the audience that may not know, last March, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, a very unique automobile show took place here in the backyard at the Homestead Miami Speedway. We were privileged to host, for the first time in 19 years, a national show of the Antique Automobile Club of America. We represent the South Florida region. These are very competitive sites to run shows, and we were very pleased that we were selected. As the result of the cooperation with the track, and particularly with the city of Homestead and its administration and some of its use of publicity organs, we were very fortunate in producing a very, very fine show. So fine that we have been asked to repeat this for next year.
Excellent. On
March 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and we are into negotiations now with the track. We feel we brought in, conservatively, an estimated $480,000 into the area between housing for 3 days, between food and restaurants that were visited, a large number of tours that were taken in the local area in Miami and into the Keys, as well as some other incidental expenses that the people paid for. Best guess is that we had 8,000 visitors that day for the show to come and see the vehicles. So to the city officials and to the city government, we say thank you. We learned a lot from last year's show, and we're going to improve on next year's show, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
But I'm here tonight to make a very special presentation, because some 18 months ago, when we were floundering about where we were going to put the show and how were we going to put it on, someone mentioned, and I remembered, when you're 80 years old, you kind of forget, that 25 years ago, we began a relationship with the city of Homestead in putting on small regional shows here. We started on Harris Field, and we were there for some 19 or 20 years. And then most recently, we did some shows here on Chrome Avenue. And the group that was most helpful to us was Homestead Main Street. And the executive director of that, Yvonne Knowles, approached us and said, let's talk about this national show. And through her very good offices, and through the offices of Homestead Main Street, we were able to then come in contact with the track. Doors opened for us, agreements were signed, and as I said, Mr. Mayor, we had a very, very successful show.
You did.
So much so that we are coming back again next year. So I would like to, if I could, Mr. Mayor, use this venue. Yvonne, could you please come up here, please? And in the presence of your citizenry here, I'd like to say on the behalf of the South Florida region, a very gracious thank you to Yvonne particularly, and to the city of Homestead, and particularly to Homestead Main Street for your help in helping us with this show. Thank you so very much. This isn't sexual harassment. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Sure.
Stay with me. When Yvonne first brought this organization to the mayor and I, and we sat down and we had a nice long meeting, we were so grateful that you gave Homestead another chance. Thank you. And with that being said, on behalf of the city, this is a certificate of recognition to the Antique Automobile Club of America, South Florida region, in recognition of your positive economic impact to the Homestead Community Antique Car Show National Winter Meet 2010, and it'll be our honor to give you another one next year in 2011. And Yvonne, thank you so much, because I know you worked really, really hard to make it a success. I'm so glad Main Street is back with us, working hard on so many different events, which we'll be talking about lots more of those in the upcoming months. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
And here's a little pen. And this isn't sexual harassment either.
Okay.
No? Well, you want to hug me? Okay. I'll hug you.
That's better yet. Thank you very much. And thank you again, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, I would like to make an unannounced presentation to a very special employee, and that is Captain Ed Bowe. Captain Ed Bowe, will you please come up? Chief Al Roll, please come up. I got to apologize to you right off the bat. I really didn't think that the whole water issue was going to be that big a deal. God bless you. Captain Bowe started with us after Captain Bowe, April 5th, 2010, he retired. 27 years of service. He began with Homestead Police Department back in 1983. as a police recruit. He graduated from Homestead Police Academy 4 months after signing on as a recruit and became Homestead's police officer. He held a position as sergeant. He served in internal affairs and then moved on to his position as captain, where he retired as captain. He has currently been hired back as a consultant in the emergency management / Homeland Security. He's done an excellent job for us in that department, and we could not see Captain Bo go. So in your dedication, Captain Bo, we've got a beautiful plaque here. It says, "An appreciation to Captain Ed Bo for your untiring dedication and contribution to your community above and beyond the call of duty. April 2010, Mayor and Council, City of Homestead," and you've earned every bit of it. Chief Roll, would you like to come up? Chief, would you like to come up, please, for the photo op? Please, we want you in the photo. Please, on the other side here. We want to step up just a little bit. A little bit further to the right. There we go. Okay, slide up here. We good? Yeah, we're good. Thank you again, sir. Thank you. Great job. Chief, say a few words, please. Captain Bell.
Well, this is a very nice surprise. I'd like to thank the mayor, vice mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, council members, city manager, the chief. You've been my mentor for 27 years, and I thank you for all your support. All the men and women of the Homestead Police Department, it's been my honor to serve with them over the 27 years that I've been here. My wife, I want to thank her, my family, for their support over the years. She's put up with me so far 32 years of blissful marriage. And really, when you become a police officer, it's a commitment that you make individually, but it's a big commitment for your family as well, so that support is needed. But that's just part of the family. The extended family of all the professional men and women of Homestead Police Department, serving with them over the years has been my honor. And last but not least, the citizens of Homestead, it's been my privilege to serve each and every one of them for those 27 years. And as a resident of Homestead, I really appreciated working here and being here, and I live here still along with my family and continue looking forward to serving the public. Thank you very much.
Okay, the next item, item C, the Fair Housing Proclamation. Councilman Shelley.
Ask Jan Smith to come on up. I have a proclamation here for the fair housing. Whereas April 11th, 2010 marks the 42nd anniversary of the passage of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, which enunciates a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, creed, national origin, sex, familial status, and handicap, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all citizens. And whereas the City of Homestead is committed to highlight the Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, by continuing to address discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right to equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with other organizations to help assure every American of their right to fair housing. Now, therefore, Stephen C. Bateman, the Mayor of the City of Homestead, does hereby proclaim April 2010 as Fair Housing Month in Homestead.
Okay, the next item, item D, judicial candidate, Group 11, Michelle Gonzalez.
I'd like to invite Michelle Gonzalez Paulson to come up here to give a presentation. She's an esteemed colleague in the legal community, and she's also running for judge. She's also a resident here in the city of Homestead. So I want to give her the opportunity to come out here and tell you a little bit about herself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members and members of our community. My name is Michelle Gonzalez Paulson, and I'm running for judicial candidate for county court judge. I've been a resident of Homestead for 11 years. I've been in Miami-Dade County for almost 40 years. I'm a mother, a wife. I have a 16-year-old, and my heart is in public service. I started public service 10 years ago with legal aid representing victims of domestic violence. And one of my main reasons for being here is because I'm a judicial candidate, I feel that many of our constituents have no idea who their judges are or when they're voting for judges. And I think it's very important for our community to be involved of what judges they elect, specifically because judges affect our families, our businesses, our lives, and our community. So I encourage everyone to vote on August 24th. My experience is in family law, civil litigation, pretty much all the cases that come before county court. My practice has grown from family law, domestic violence, to bankruptcy, civil litigation, and immigration. Very important on August 24th for everybody to go out and vote and make sure that you vote for a judge who is going to be there for this community, who's also going to be fair, and who's going to apply the law. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. I'm asking the council members for your support and for your endorsement as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item E, Ms. Wallman, Relay for Life. Recognition.
Is Christy? Where is she? Oh, there she is. She's so little, I didn't see her.
She's not little.
This is Christy Rivers Thompson. Everybody knows Christy. She works in the utilities. Where is she? Wait. She works in. See, I told you I couldn't see her. She works in the utilities department, and Christy has graciously volunteered to chair the whole event for Relay for Life this year. Plus, she is the chairperson for the City of Homestead and the teams that the City of Homestead is entering into the relay. So, with her assistance, I'm going to assist her in recognizing some of the people that just got involved in an event that we had.
Thank you, Judy. Usually I come up here and I just speak off the top of my head and I end up rambling, so I actually printed out something this time. Every year the City of Homestead has a team that fundraises year-round for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life event at Homestead Hospital, as Vice Mayor Walvin just stated. Last year, as well as this year, the city tried to implement a sports extravaganza program where the employees would pay $10 per event and the proceeds would go towards the goal for the City of Homestead's Relay for Life. This year our goal is $5,000 to raise. And by the way, we're already at $2,986, so we're doing really well. It is very difficult to round up enough players to put together several events. But thanks to 17 very special individuals, we were able to have our second annual basketball game at Roby George. And I would like to thank them because it's very difficult in this time to get people to hand out money that's not really going back towards them. But they knew this was a special cause. And first I wanted to say thank you to Travis Glassford. He's over the Roby George Center, and he helped us out with allowing us to have the basketball game at his center. And he also let us borrow his 3 employees to do the time for us, the time and the scores, whatever that is. Can you see I'm not a very big basketball person? Spence Crawford, Jamar Carter, and Chris Villarongo. None of them could be here tonight, but we do want to recognize them. And not only did this event raise money for the Relay for Life, it brought about some wonderful morale. The guys had lots of fun, and it was really nice. So thank you, gentlemen and lady, we have one lady, for your time and athleticism. I said it right. I also want to thank those employees who came out to support the game. We had Leslie and Marco, so I just wanted to say thank you to them. Now, the individuals I would like to thank, if you are here, if you can come up and get your award. We have Bonita Brinson. Yay. That's our lady. Thank you. And she played against all these guys.
I'm going to be out there with you next year, Benita.
Johnny Calloway.
You give it to them.
Okay. Ricardo Charlton, James French, Anthony Holmes, Yuri Joseph, Raymond McRae, Raul Rivas. Am I going too fast? Sorry. I got in trouble.
We need to make sure we have the right names for everything. Was James French here? Oh, James. There you go. Anthony Holmes. He's not here? Not here. Okay. Yuri Joseph. Raymond McRae. Oh, Raymond. Paul Rivas. Oh, right behind me, sorry.
Luxon Sony. Well, somebody walked away.
Is that Luxon coming up here?
Luis Torres. Tori Wilburn. Eric Woods. There's Eric.
Okay, make sure you have his.
Yeah. So.
Christy and I are doing things.
And last but certainly not least, our MVP, Milton Bailey, who without Milton, we would not be able to have this event because I was extremely, extremely busy, and I said, I can't do it, I just can't do it, and Milton stepped up and helped me out. So thank you, Milton, very much, and thank you all very, very much. Yeah. Switch your glasses. I'll take care of them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we squeeze in here? With you guys? Okay. I haven't had my own. Okay, can we get everybody in without that microphone in the way, or do we want to scoot down? Do you want us to scoot down, Sally? Okay. This is a new act we're going to put on Broadway.
Come on, don't be afraid of him. He won't bite you right now.
Thank you so much. And so while I have you up here, I just want to say, while I have her up here, the relay is May 15th.
May 15th,
and
Saturday and Sunday this year.
And I'm going to tell you something. As a breast cancer survivor, and some of my cancer survivor friends are out here, and as a chairperson of the relay for many, many years, I only stopped being the chairperson for relay because I got cancer. And it just means the world to me. So we need for people to come out. We are partnering again with Homestead Hospital. It will be there. There's going to be tons of events, and the hours are...
Starts at 12 noon on Saturday, and that's when the survival lap starts, so that you definitely don't want to miss that. Luminary ceremony is at 9 p.m. sundown. That's pretty much when sundown happens. And it goes through till closing ceremonies at 6 a.m. on Sunday.
Now, I won't be there all night. However, it's always a lot of fun, and I encourage you to come out. Don't eat dinner. Go there. You know, all the proceeds go to the Relay for Life, so come out and enjoy. Thank you.
And if you are a survivor, if you want to get in touch with me, we would like to have you, we would like to honor you as a survivor. If you want to write my phone number down, it's 305-224-4719. Just call the city and ask for Christy. Thank you.
You're a runner. You better know. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Next item, Mr. Williams, Dare to Dream.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Let me take this opportunity and time to, this is a special project dear to my heart, simply because if it had not been for mentoring, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. And so we have some delighted guests who've driven all the way from Orlando and going back tonight to be here to present this program. And it's a statewide program, and we're looking to bring it down to Homestead, Miami-Dade County, where it does not exist as of yet. After tonight, that will change. And so with that, I'll invite one of my mentors who have mentored me through the process of to where I am today. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am now. And his name is, there's no relations, but his name is the Reverend Elder J. O. Williams, and his program coordinator, Adrian Williams, and she's going to come and present, and I want to take this time, about a 3 or 5 minute presentation for the council and for all the our community who can get involved in the process of this wonderful program.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council. It's a joy to be here with you. I am James O. Williams. I'm the CEO of Dare to Dream Mentoring Program, and I have my program director here, Adrian McWilliams, that will share the program with you.
Thank you for having us. The Dare to Dream Mentoring Program. To the council and to the community, there is a need for mentoring. What is mentoring? The Dare to Dream Mentoring Program is a community-based mentoring program. We mentor children between the ages of 4 up to 18. Through a collaborative partnership with the Department of Juvenile Justice, community-based organizations, and faith-based organizations, we will reach a broad range of youth, their parents, their legal guardians, and you, mentors, who will work with our program participants. We are seeking mentors. Mentors are trained, and they provide a one-to-one mentoring relationship with a child. Why the need for mentoring? Mentoring is meant to be an effective strategy for helping youth succeed and providing them with the resources, skills, and confidences they need to reach their potentials. Youth participating in mentoring programs have better attitudes and behaviors at school and have better chances of attending college. Mentoring shows promise in helping youth develop healthy and safe behaviors. The goals of our program is to provide early intervention and prevention services through mentoring relationships to at-risk youth. These youth have a parent that's incarcerated. They're at risk of educational failure. They have teen pregnancy. They may be experiencing truancy and even juvenile delinquency. The benefits, you in the community, as Councilman Williams said, he had a mentor. If we all look back over our lives, everything today has a label, but when we reflect back, they didn't label them as mentors. But we had a significant person that played a role in our lives that made a difference. They were there for us. And that's what our youth today need. They need someone there to pay it forward for them. So to be a mentor, you will have the personal fulfillment through contribution through community and individuals. The satisfaction in knowing that you've helped someone to mature, to progress, and achieve some goals. We provide you with some training sessions and some group activities. You'll participate in mentor support groups. You can even write off your mileage and some of your expenses. Everybody's looking for a break today. You can also have personal ongoing support, supervision to help you succeed, and success with your match. We provide mentor and mentee group activities, complimentary tickets to community events, and we also have participant recognition events. Youth in quality, long-term mentoring relationships, again, experience reduction in negative behavior, an increase in healthy social and emotional development, and these youth are more likely to have positive relationships with their parents and teachers and receive more emotional support from their peers. They have a greater self-worth and have higher school attendance. We are asking that you, the City of Homestead, members of the community, the council, business, or people, to partner with us and help us reclaim our communities, reclaim our youth. It does take a village to raise a child, and we are here to help you with the community in the City of Homestead. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And might I add one significant piece about this. There's two purposes of the program. One is that we're dealing with children who one of the parents is incarcerated through federal or state. So we have a target rate we're trying to attack through these prevention programs, and it's very vital. It was very vital for me when I ran for campaign for election to deal with the urgency of our youth, and so I want to do that through this mechanism, and I think it will better our community and better the people of Homestead, knowing that we've got a grip on what could be a problem tomorrow. If we get them in today and teach them and train them today, it'll make a better world for tomorrow. Elder Williams, you had a few more words.
I just want to thank you and council for allowing us to come and share.
Now, what is the contact information? I can't see that far. You know, I do have. Would you read it for us, so for the people who may be at home?
The contact information, the email address as well as the phone number is printed, but its email address is info@standinginthegapoflorida.com, standinginthegapfl.com, or our toll-free number is 1-800-918-2430. And my contact name is Adrienne McWilliams. I am the program director.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, thank you very much. That's a long trip from Orlando down, and I appreciate it, and it's great to see you again, sir. Yes, sir.
Mayor, Councilman,
yes.
Do we need to do anything to make sure that?
Well, I think you know, letters and your bodies and people who we may know. We have a scheduled training session. I know it may be a conflict with May 15th with Relay for Life, but it will be at FICO Williams in the historical room from 10 to 1 because the mentors have to be trained and have to go through a background check and all of the rigorous to make sure that the children are protected. And so
it will come out after 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
that's fine.
okay. I think that that this is very vital, and it gains momentum if each one of us get behind and really support it. So I ask for your support. We met with the chief today and talked about some different programs and how we can help facilitate some other programs. And so just your support and your endorsement on this will help us a significant amount.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions on this particular topic? Okay, thank you again. Item G, it's a presentation that Jan is going to give us on the stimulus package, Neighborhood Stabilization Program. It's a detailed report. This is something that came out back in November, I want to say right when this council came in, and I don't know if some of you saw, I think, Jan, you were on, what, Channel 7 or Channel 4?
Channel 7, yes.
Channel 7. I sat there and I just was elected and I turned the TV on, boom, there she is. I said, wow, we're not doing very well with this program. This program was like many, many other cities, 37 other municipalities throughout Dade County, were doing very, very poorly with this stimulus package. And Jan was very honest, and she goes, we haven't done a real good job either at that point. But I'd like to say now, today, we've done an outstanding job, and Jan has led the way, and I've asked her to express, you know, what we've done now to the people here and to the viewing audience, because it's very important, because there is a round two. There's a round two to the stimulus package, and only the municipalities who used it properly we'll get round two. So Jan, with that said, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, City Manager. My name's Jan Smith. I'm the Finance Director. I'm currently also heading the Community Development Department, and as Mayor Bateman said, he's asked me to present a report for the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. Little statutory background on the program. On July 30th, 2008, the U.S. Congress approved Public Law 110-289, Title III of the Housing and Economic Recovery Act of 2008. It was an emergency appropriation for the purpose of redeveloping abandoned or foreclosed homes and residential property. It provides funding to municipalities to purchase, rehabilitate, or to redevelop homes and stabilize neighborhoods. The oversight authority for the program is the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and that's HUD, and their Office of Community Planning and Development. The mission seeks to develop viable communities by promoting integrated approaches that provide decent housing, a suitable living environment, and expand economic opportunities for low and moderate income individuals. So the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, the outline of the program, the properties must be foreclosed and vacant for at least 90 days prior to closing. So these are properties that have gone completely through the foreclosure process. There's no short sales or transactions of that nature allowed. Properties must be purchased at a discount of 1% below the current appraised value. The cost of the property must conform to Miami-Dade County mortgage limits as established by the Federal Housing Administration, the FHA. And the properties must be sold or rented to individuals at or below 120% of the area's median income. Income limits, for example, for a single individual is for one person, $56,600, and it increases incrementally to a family of 6 is $93,800. The city's action plan for the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, the total award amount for the city was roughly $2.9 million. We targeted areas with zip codes of 33030, 33, and 35. Our planned activities were to purchase rehab homes, purchase rehab rental property, provide down payment assistance, and demolish blighted residential structures. Our allocation for our planned activities, we allocated roughly a third of the money for purchase rehab and resale, roughly a third for down payment assistance, $100,000 for demolition, and 25% we're required to provide for individuals that are at or below 50% of the area median income. So these are very low income individuals. Our progress to date, we have on the left side our estimated expenditures, on the right side the amount of money that we've actually spent. And as the mayor said, when I was on Channel 7, I think they taped that last September, we hadn't spent hardly any money. Today we're up to $1.5 million that we've actually spent. We have obligated almost the entire amount, 2.8. You'll see at the bottom there we have $98,000 left to be obligated, and I'm due an appraisal on one additional property tomorrow, which is at $104,000. So our entire award will be obligated by the September 29th deadline. Thanks. Some of the properties, 1929 Southeast 12th Street, 33305. We closed on January 8th for $113,850. 1968 Southeast 15th Court, 035. We closed on January 12th, $138,600. 438 Northwest 11th Street, 33030 for $96,500. We closed on January 20th. 4290 Northeast 16th Street, 033 for $104,900. We closed on January 29th. 924 Northwest 11th Street, 33030 for $44,900. This is a property that we plan on being demolished and rebuilding a new residential property, a single-family home there on that property. We closed that on February 16th. 1327 Field Lark Lane, 035. We paid $143,500. It closed on March 8th. 105 Northeast 17th Street, 33030. We paid $177,500. We closed on March 23rd. 1221 Southeast 17th Avenue, 33035. We paid $149,000, and we closed on April 1st. 2840 Northeast 41st Road, 033 for $94,900. We closed on April 6th. 638 Southwest 10th Avenue, 030. We paid $20,500, and we closed on April 13th. And this is our second property that will be demolished and rebuilt. 1735 North GoldenEye Lane, 035, $143,500. We closed on April 15th. 2936 Southeast 15th Avenue, 035 for $35,035. This is a townhouse. We were scheduled to close on April 16th, but we have not quite yet closed that property. I have a call in to the closing agent. And the last one, 1002 Northeast 42nd Avenue, 033 for $69,900. We were also supposed to close that on the 16th, but we're having a little issue with Waterstone's Homeowners Association. So, any questions?
Excellent job, excellent. I'll take that round of applause.
Been very busy.
I mean, you saw some of the hurdles that were pointed out to use these funds. I mean, you had to buy the house 1% below HUD's appraisal. So as bad as we think the market is out there, we probably looked at 10 times that many homes that we bid on, and we were beat constantly by the new homeowner or by the investor. So we had to continuously bid on homes, and you've done a great job. Those nice-looking homes that you showed.
We got
there.
really lucky.
Very nice-looking homes, and that means we've rehabbed them, whatever they needed, whatever small items some of them needed or whatever. Some of them completely come down, but you can see we've put people back in homes, and that was the goal, and we met the goal, and I thank you for that.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Williams.
I got a question, Jan. You said on Southwest 10th there's a house that will be demolished, and it will be rebuilt. Is that what I heard you say?
That's correct. We're both of the properties that we're going to demolish, we're going to replace with new homes.
New home.
New home.
And for the community, how does one? You probably have gone over it, but be able to participate in buying that home, and for what reasonable price? Because that's a concern of mine.
The resale price will be 1% below appraisal. So once we demolish the house, we rebuild a new one, we'll get a new appraisal. Whatever it appraises for, we'll sell it for 1% below appraisal. The way that I have envisioned the plan, as of today, we were only able to assist 2 individuals with down payment assistance. Mm-hmm. So we have a list of 18 people who were approved, who were actually awarded down payment assistance. I would like to see if any of those people are interested in the houses that we've purchased and will rehab, give them first shot at it, since they weren't able to, for one reason or another, locate a property on their own and take advantage of the city's down payment assistance program.
Okay. I think that in my district that it needs to, we need to take advantage of such, and so I wanted to make sure how we can connect to make sure that the people of the community gets a chance to take advantage at that house that will be rebuilt. And you're saying rebuilt, a new house?
A brand new house, that's correct.
And what's the time frame are we expecting on that, or this is just projection?
No, we will be bidding out all the work orders for the rehab and the demolition and rebuild. It's actually in procurement now. We're working on it. As soon as I close on these last 2 properties, the bid will go out on the street.
One more question. Mayor, will any of these be the rebuilding or demolition be done by local contractors? Can we make sure that local person able to bid and get some work?
I'm sure we can. Our local preference is it was going to be worked on. Richard and I have talked about that. And he mentioned during the rehab of the dorms, we implemented the Miami Lakes ordinance into that package. So, yes, we can look at
I'd
that.
like to see some local persons in our community be put back to work.
If that's within community development block grant guidelines, then we can certainly see that happens. If it's within the guidelines, we have to be within the CDBG guidelines.
I understand. I'm just putting it on record that
I hear you.
There are compliance requirements.
You got my support.
I have starving people. We need jobs. So.
Absolutely.
That's right. Any further comments?
Mayor, yes.
Yes.
I have a request. It was a little bit difficult. I mean, I have perfect vision, but it was a little bit difficult to see the presentation. I'd like to request to either have a copy of it electronically or that it be posted on the website so that we're able to review
Absolutely.
it. Thank you.
Any further questions? Aaron, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to ask permission to defer one more time because we've got a few appointments here that have been sitting here for quite a while, and these are people who are going to serve on our boards just as good-hearted citizens. So if there's no objections, I'd like to move forward to a couple appointments. And hearing none, I'd like to move forward to the Homestead, Florida City Community Relations Board. And at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to move Vielka Dyer, Romanita Ford, Arthur Gladley, and Paula Eusquelas.
I'll move.
Go ahead. A motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. Second? Thank you. The four names I just mentioned, are any of the four people here? You want to just come up and say one or two things? Let's see. Questions or comments? We'll hold those until we hear from the applicant. Real quick. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I'm Vielka Dyer, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to serve on this board. I moved to Homestead 4.5 years ago, and since I've been a resident, I've been very involved in the community. I believe a community is as good as its residents, and I believe that residents need to be involved in their community. So I thank you for this opportunity, and I will serve the community well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Okay, questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion carries. Homestead Housing Authority, David Barones, Arturo De Leon. I entertain a motion to move these two individuals forward.
I move it.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Would either one of you like to say something? Mr. Barones?
I'm David Barones. I thank Mayor and Council to give me this opportunity to serve in the Homestead Housing Authority, and I have a lot to give to the camps because I lived in the camps. We got here in 1962, and I just want to do all I can to give it back. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am Arturo De Leon. It's a privilege to serve again on the Housing Authority Association. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the Councilman. I'll be proud to serve. I've been here since 1954. I was a city councilman at the Florida City, Vice Mayor, and what have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor?
Yes.
May I just?
Please.
It's so refreshing to see you back on there, Mr. De Leon. It's so wonderful. And David, congratulations. I know you've lived a life. You'll serve this board very, very well. But I'm especially glad to see Mr. De Leon back on there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Southwest Advisory Committee, A. Travis Smith and Reverend Norman E. Freeman, Jr. Either applicant here?
One could not make it, and then one left early, Mayor.
Okay, I'm
couldn't
sorry.
hold.
Okay, motion?
I move it.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, questions or comments?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
One of the individuals, Reverend Freeman, will be reappointed. He served previously. And Mr. Smith, who works for Spencer Dodge, could not be here because of work schedule, but is very active in the community. And so I think these two gentlemen will serve and do an excellent job on the Southwest Advisory Committee. And this complete the 7 persons on their appointment. So I'm ready to go to work next month to meet with the committee.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. And the next, item 4, Tourism Committee. Dale Woodbridge. Dale's in the audience. Would you come forward? Motion to move?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you.
As Dale approaches, Mayor, I'll just say that this completes my tourism board, so we'll be ready to get to work. And we have an international member of our tourism board now, so thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to serve the City of Homestead. I look forward to, participating as much as possible to, just see this city continue to go ahead. Because I really believe the city has a lot more to offer than what we see at the moment, and I believe it can grow in tourism with Main Street, lots of ideas. So I look forward to it, and serving with you, Judy, it's going to be such a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Carries. Motion carries. So we have that completed. Thank you very much for allowing me to do that. And thank you for serving on our boards. Next item 6, that's consent agenda. Return.
Mayor.
Thank you.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, I think we have an addition, deletion, and deferral, which would be the tab 19. I think the manager wanted to defer that item.
Right.
You did it already?
He wanted to remove it completely.
Perfect.
We did that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I need to pull tab 6, I'm sorry. The Department of Air Force jet loan agreement. I don't remember that coming before the committee of the whole.
You want to pull that for discussion?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead. You want to take that now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
I'm looking to hear a report that said that we...
Okay. Can we get a report on that? 6, please.
And the question also that the contract is already signed. So it's before us.
If I may clarify, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, there was a timing issue with this contract that we needed to have it signed, and I did not see it to be a problem. We have done it on a yearly basis all this time. Nothing has really changed from the original framework that we've been working under all these years.
Okay. My question is just a procedural matter, I guess, from going forward now. If it's a sense of urgency for us, I don't know why it was put on the consent agenda, because we didn't deal with it. So if it's a sensitive, urgent matter, the many special calls that we've had, we could have dealt with that. I just don't like being up here and then, I don't like to be in a position like this.
Yes, sir. I read you well, loud and clear. It's just that when I asked the same question when this was brought to me, and I knew I was coming before you with it. It was just a timing issue, and I'm going to make sure that we in anticipation of my signature, I'll bring it to you before.
please, because, you know.
Okay, do we have a problem moving forward with it?
No, it didn't come before us before, so I don't know.
No, thank you. I appreciate you pointing that out, and
I can't allow that to continue.
I echo you. Any further questions before we move forward with the consent agenda? Hearing none, can I have a motion? We have a motion? And a second, we do. Okay, all in favor?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Okay, passes, carries. Public hearing, ordinances, land use items, etc. City attorney, quasi-judicial.
Yes, please be advised the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon any of these items, please indicate the item number you would like to address when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff have made their presentations on each item. Swearing in. All testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to be either cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the counsel to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record. Persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization, and further details of the quasi-judicial procedures may be obtained from the clerk. In accordance with Code Section 2-591, any lobbyist must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose any ex parte communications concerning any items on the agenda. Hearing none, at this time the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify on the following quasi-judicial items.
Would you please stand and raise your right hand? I state your name. Hereby swear or affirm that the information I present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. You may be seated.
Thank you.
Okay, proceed with tab 12.
Yes, tab 12 is a final order of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting a certificate of use to allow the operation of a supermarket cafeteria with on-premises sale and consumption of beer and wine located at 625 Washington Avenue, further granting a waiver of the location requirements for the on-premise sale and consumption of beer and wine as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
Motion to move that?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Staff report?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, the Borges Supermarket, as you all know, it's located at 625 Washington Avenue and has been operated at this location since 2007. It also includes within the supermarket an area of about 36 seats that is used as a cafeteria today. The hours of operations are Monday through Sunday through Saturday from 6:30 a.m. through 8 p.m. When it comes to the petition itself, the code requires that it's twofold. There's two issues to consider here. One or two standards. One as it pertains to the certificate of use. And the second one pertains to the waiver of the location requirements, the 400 feet that are required by code to be kept from an establishment that sells alcohol in any church, government property, public park, or school. In this case, the subject property is located 261 feet from the One Stop Career Center, 290 feet from the Miami-Dade College. It's right next to the post office, and 384 feet from the South Dade Adult Center. As I mentioned, the standards that the application must meet are outlined in Section 3-11C of the City Code, and as it pertains to the use criteria, staff finds that the application meets all those requirements. I don't want to go into that in the interest of time unless you want me to. The second component pertains to the waiver of the location requirement, and that is the same section, subsection D, 3-11D, and we also find that it meets the locational requirements. On March 24th, this application went before the Planning and Zoning Board, and they recommend their approval of the certificate of use, of both, the certificate of use and the waiver to the location requirements. We do attach one condition to our recommendation, and that's the alcoholic beverages shall commence not earlier than 11 a.m. We are recommending approval of the application.
Questions from council?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I have a question. Do they currently have a permit to sell beer and wine on site?
What they have is what you will find normally in a supermarket. They have a package sale permit.
And the reason I ask that is because these have come before us before in the past in a similar area, but they've all been restaurant related. So they've been for consumption inside a restaurant, but without being able to sell it outside.
Correct.
For taking off premises. So the only concern I have about allowing them to have both selling it on site as a package store, then also for on site as consumption, is we have maybe an enforcement problem when people buy it inside, not at the restaurant, and then they consume it on the premises, and there becomes an enforcement problem. How do we determine did they buy it for on site or not? So I'm not exactly sure how to deal with it. That's the biggest concern I have. Is there a way we can limit their permit to only being able to consume it inside the four corners within the building, no consumption outside?
Correct.
Can we condition it on that to make
you
sure
can condition it on that unless, of course, if they apply for an outdoor seating area, in which case it will be permitted, but it will be evaluated on a case by case basis. What is typically attached to as a matter of condition when a concern like that comes up is that in the event that that becomes an enforcement problem, that the property owner must provide for security themselves so that stops from happening. And that's typically a condition that we attach to these type of applications.
Okay. Because that's my only concern with all the schools nearby is that you have someone who now buys inside that's not part of the restaurant, goes outside, opens up the beer, the wine, whatever it happens to be, and now they're somewhat loitering, and how do you enforce that? How do you stop it? I can see that being a problem versus just consumption within inside the four walls. So that's really the only concern I have about this particular aspect of it.
Okay. Mayor?
Yes, Mr.
Thank you. City Manager, is this the first this is a cafeteria or a restaurant?
This operates, the principal use is a restaurant. The cafeteria is an accessory use. So the principal driving force in this business is the restaurant. The cafeteria, it's like a miscellaneous type use.
So they have the okay to go ahead and run a restaurant, would you just call it a cafeteria? Because I've just never seen a cafeteria with serving beer. I mean, I think of a cafeteria, sandwiches, Coke, soda, candies, things like that, knickknacks. You come in and, you kind of grab a bite and go. And in this issue, we have a cafeteria, and now we have beer consumption here. Do we have any other? My other question would be, do we have any other supermarkets in the area that have this same setup? Would this be the first one?
This would be the first one with this type of application.
Okay. My concern with that is that if, and it's just a concern, that we start having these cafeterias, or all the supermarkets, then start putting the restaurants, and then with the beer consumption. Just a concern if we go ahead and open this up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here by any chance, or any representative? Does staff know, do they sell food the full hours? Because I see where they're requesting to stay open until 1 a.m. And do they sell food? Are those their hours now, I guess is what I'm asking. And do they sell food that entire time, or are they trying to extend their hours and become a bar?
As stated in the report, the hours of operation for the supermarket and of the cafeteria will be...
Right, I understand what they state their hours, but do they actually sell food right now, or are they considering their hours of the store as the hours of everything? Because I find it hard to believe that they're selling food till 1 o'clock in the morning.
I don't have that information particularly. I know that...
With them not being here and what I've read and all that, I will be voting no for this tonight, because I think we're setting a bad precedence.
Okay.
in the area. I don't think that you should be mixing beer and wine with children walking through and people sitting down and families in grocery shopping and stuff like that. So that's my reason as to why I will be voting no.
Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Lopez.
Yes, I was a little bit surprised that the applicant is not here. It was a tied motion at P&Z. I did have one of the questions, and it was for the applicant. Now, Borges Supermarket is at this new location because they had to move from the acquisition of City Hall property. And so one of the things that were not clear in P&Z minutes was, did they have a cafeteria with beer and wine where they used to be located? And now they're requiring a license because they were made to relocate?
No, they did not.
So this would be a new
This is the
operation for
first
them
time.
that would be different from what they previously were serving?
Yes.
Okay, I echo the comments of being surprised that the applicant's not here to answer these questions, since Planning and Zoning did have several concerns about it.
Any additional comments from council?
I have one question.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
And I just don't know the answer to this, so I don't know who to direct it to, the chief or the city manager, but is there anything to prevent them from buying a six-pack of beer and walking over after they paid for it and sitting down and eating their meal and opening a can of beer?
Yes.
There's something to prevent that?
It's illegal. It's for consumption off premises. When you buy a package, like a six-pack or something like that, it's not on premises.
I haven't been in the supermarket / cafeteria, so I haven't seen it. Is it like a restaurant? I mean,
it's a cafeteria inside the restaurant. It's mainly it's inside a grocery environment. It's mainly a grocery shop.
okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Manager, any further questions? Did we receive any written objection from anyone? Any surrounding neighbors? Or?
Not to my knowledge. No? None.
None?
No, sir.
Mayor, can I ask if
Sure,
we
Mr.
would
Mara.
read with the P&Z board that the Borges restaurant came before? What were their comments, or what was the vote on that? Would you have that, so we could speak that into the record?
I believe the minutes.
It was a tie vote, 3-3.
3-3.
Mayor, could I clear one other thing up?
Sure.
In the manager's opening statement, he said that it was P&Z voted in favor of this, and with 3-3, it would not be considered in favor, correct?
Whenever there's a tie vote from the P&Z, it comes to you as a denial.
So it's
it's not
I stand
favor.
corrected.
It's
Yeah,
denied.
I just wanted to get that corrected on the record.
I stand corrected. It's typically status quo. Nothing happens when you have a tie. So same as.
Yeah.
Any further comments from council? Hearing none, at this time, I'll open the public hearing. Is there any public comment in favor of the topic? Hearing none, is there any comments against it? Yes, ma'am. You come to the podium, please.
My name is Rena Canton, 3070 Southeast Fort Place. I'm in favor against it. I happen to agree with Councilman Burgess. We don't need wine and beer served in a supermarket. I think it just leads to a totally different environment that I don't think we want in Homestead. I mean, if they do it, Publix has a cafeteria. Are they then going to apply for a wine and license too? This just sets a precedent that I don't think is necessary.
Good point. Thank you, ma'am. Sure.
I'm Chris Carter at 170 Northwest 18th Street. I'm just wondering, if everyone wants to sell alcohol in Homestead, why don't we just give a blanket permit and everybody can do the same thing? because often we're trying to travel through Chrome Avenue, and we have to dodge intoxicated people falling into the street. So if we just make it a blanket rule and everyone can do it, then we'll all be doing the same thing.
I hear you. Thank you, Chris.
But I do think they should be allowed to sell it too. I mean, if everybody else has been okayed before, why not continue?
I don't think we have any uses like this. That's what the point is now. I think that-
No, but I just think there are so many businesses in that area concentrated. Maybe that's what I'm saying.
Right, okay.
And they're all selling alcohol.
I hear you.
I'm just wondering how many more are going to apply. And we do have an enforcement issue already.
No, it troubles me when I see them walk in a convenience store and walk right around the back of that very convenience store and sit there and have a 12-pack party. It bothers me.
I think
I'm
it's
with you.
really turning a lot of people away from
Yeah, it
spending
is.
money.
It is.
Yeah, on
We
Chrome
need to be a little more proactive with it, yes.
But
Getting rid of it.
it's just a comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further comments? Hearing no further comments, I'll close the public hearing. Any further comments from council at this time?
So let me get this right. It is coming to us from P&Z as a denial, as your recommendation is to deny their...
Well, let me just clarify. When it comes as a tie, it's really just, there's really no recommendation. It's just sort of
Status quo.
status quo. It's a tie vote. So they're not recommending denial or approval. It's just a tie vote. I misspoke when I said it was denial.
Oh,
It's just a status quo. So it's coming to you basically with no recommendation from P&Z because they could not agree, a yes or no.
Right. Mr. Mayor, in normal circumstances, when there's a tie vote, that is that ends up being a negative vote. But in this case, because it is a recommendation, it just comes with a no preference kind of a recommendation. But normally a tie vote is a no vote. But in this particular case, it just comes with no recommendation one way or another.
And if I may, I apologize. I wasn't present at this hearing, and so I tried to gather as much information I could. I was in Washington with
That's
the rest of you to convey to you tonight. But I misread that portion of the memorandum, and it's really a status quo. In other words, the application comes to you as it stood, as if they did not recommend or for or against.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Question?
Final comments? Yes, Mr.
Final, yes. Are we voting right now and for, because there was two uses, there's two issues coming before us. Right now, we're just discussing one of the beer and wine, not for the restaurant. Am I correct? It's just.
There's the certificate of use and the waiver to the distance requirements.
So we
But
have a
it's
waiver
really,
certificate and a waiver.
It's one.
it's one.
So we're doing two and one.
One application that has two components, two standards that they have to meet.
Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Lewis.
Yes, I have another comment. In the past, typically, we've approved beer and wine licenses for places like Ruby Tuesdays and Miyagi's and all these established restaurants. I believe the last one I voted on was for La Quebradita, which was the Mexican restaurant. And anytime we talk about this, the issue of the grocery stores always come up, and it's like, unfortunately, you dislike the activity, you look down upon it, and it's kind of like you can't do anything for to regulate the grocery stores and the activity that goes around it. And this item, we are really looking at a very new use of this. I mean, in a cafeteria style and within a supermarket. And so to be consistent with what I've seen in the past is to stick with the restaurants. I agree that we should not introduce a new use of this type of license to now be within a cafeteria, within a supermarket. And so voting no for this would just be to not introduce this new kind of use of this permit.
Thank you. Yes, Vice Mayor.
I just called the question, and I
Okay.
would like to have the motion reread to me, because I'm not quite sure. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what the motion was. Did we just move to move it?
We just made a motion to move it. I think that
Okay.
Mr. Shelley had some conditions. I don't know if you want to just move on and we'll vote on it now.
Well, it does, yeah, I'm more likely, I'm not going to support them.
Right.
So the whole, either way, however the conditions get put on, so.
The motion
however you want to do it.
before you is a motion to approve.
To approve,
So
right.
that if you don't want to, you vote no.
Thank you, Mr. King. Okay, hearing no further comments, roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
No.
Councilman Burgess?
No.
Councilwoman Lobos?
No.
Councilman Maldonado?
No.
Councilman Shelley?
No.
Councilman Williams?
No.
Mayor Bateman?
No.
Motion fails.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to tab 13.
Yes, tab 13 is the first reading of an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, considering the request of 1590 Homestead LLC for a rezoning from Restricted Retail Commercial District B1 to Retail Commercial District B2 for property located at 1690 Northeast 8th Street as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date. This is first reading.
I'll
Motion
move this,
to
Mayor.
move it forward. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Staff report.
The subject property is located at 1690 Northeast 8th Street, and again, they're requesting a rezoning from B1 to B2. The rezoning request is consistent with the future land use designation in the city's comprehensive plan. The applicant would like to expand the existing storage facility by building an addition to the side of the existing building. It's estimated to be in the 21,000 square foot range. The site itself is about 5 acres, and it's comprises about 3 lots west of Farm Life School Road. There are currently 2 buildings located on the site. One is a 2-story climate control building, and the other one is a single-story building. The uses are immediately adjacent to a mixed multi-family residential and commercial uses. The planning and zoning in this instance voted 6-0 to recommend approval, so there is no question about their recommendation. The criteria and how it went is also included in the packet that was submitted to you. Staff is recommending approval of the rezoning.
Questions from council?
This, Mayor, if I may.
Yes, please.
This, I rode by there, it's very clean, neat, they seem to be good neighbors to the people who are near them and about them, and I have no problem with this at all.
I remember when they came in, like, about 9 years ago, and they have been keeping up a really nice facility, and their original intention was to come in as more of a retail component mixed with this storage facility. That's still the intention of the property owner, to add that retail component to it. So it's a clean, very nice facility on Campbell. So
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Maldonado.
Thank you, Mayor. Is this going up, basically, we're raising the height of the single story? How are they expanding? Because it wasn't too clear when I was looking at the site map.
They're expanding, we're not raising the height.
Are they going wide? Is there an empty lot?
They're adding to the existing facility. They're adding to the south side of the building.
I've been there. I actually used their services at one time, so it's very convenient. But when I look at the area and I try to see where the space is, I haven't been able to see it, because unless there's an empty space between the apartments that are next to them and then the storage facility that's fenced.
They have this
space in the back.
The additional space.
Because behind that should be some townhouses that have been there. I think it's called Sunrise or something like that.
Correct.
And so I was just trying to locate which way they're going, up or okay.
It's to the south, to the back of the building.
South side,
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
My only, I can't see from the map that's provided, is this, the subject parcel, is it abutting Campbell Drive, or it's actually off of Campbell? It's right kind of in the middle of all of this, correct?
It's fronts Campbell.
It does have frontage on Campbell?
The building is recessed back.
Okay.
Where the Penske trucks park now.
Exactly.
Yes. But my question was, I guess my only concern is that we have B1 and R3 surrounding the site, and now we're going to grant it B2, and I have no objection to expansion of the self-storage. They've been great tenants. They do a good job as far as maintaining their property. But B2 is fairly liberal as far as what they can put there. If these people sell their property, any of those uses could go there. So we're not just looking at this particular property owner and this particular use. They could be demolished and they could build more intensive uses there. So that's my only concern. I mean, there's no other B2s that complement that. It's kind of a...
The B2, even though it's B1 and B2 are part of the light commercial use designation in the comprehensive plan. And as defined in that, as the comprehensive plan defines light commercial uses, it states clearly there are certain more intense uses that are, for instance, vehicle related, car repair shops and things of that nature are excluded from that land use designation, so that it's maintained at a light commercial level.
I mean, I'm making sure that, it's coming recommended from staff, and so I want to make sure that, I want your reasoning why that B2 would be okay to go at this particular site, even though there's no other B2s surrounding it. I mean, if that is your recommendation, then I'll rely on your recommendation as an expert, but I want that recommendation on the record.
My recommendation goes attached. It includes an expansion of the existing facility, which is a storage facility and/or a retail space, and that's purposely what we're talking about here. We're not adding any other type of uses that will be more intense or aesthetically or otherwise.
And the applicant never proffered any kind of restrictions or anything. They voluntarily. The applicant never voluntarily proffered any kind of restrictions on the B2 use. They're asking for the full B2, correct?
Again, the land use designation, this definition is pretty clear as to not include intense type uses that you will find in a B3 and even in a B2 as it previously stood in our code, it allows certain uses. When we revised the comprehensive plan years ago, we made it clear that we wanted to keep the light commercial use light, and so that it could coexist with an abutting residential, whether multifamily or the like, next door neighbor. So.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion before we open
Yes,
it up?
Mayor, I have a comment to make.
Yes.
Regarding this hearing of the rezoning, I don't have any objections to it, but when we go to the part of the site plan is where I'm looking to do a lot of the enforcement to address some of the issues that would come with increasing the zone to a B2 next to a residential area. So as far as the hearing today with just the zoning is concerned, I don't have any issues with it. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? I mean, it looks like it's going back inside the closed gate area where they have climate control now. So that's what it appears to be. Looks like they're not creating it. It is 2 stories, to answer your question.
Excuse me, Mayor. What kind of, and now in a B2, start coming in here, and when I look at Camel Drive, I see that seems to be one of obviously our main road in the city. So, I'm trying to be careful in the sense of making sure that if we're going to allow the B2, I want to see what type of changes are going to come in behind it. Because when I say we allow B2, you open up to other changes within the 312, and it's kind of it's hard to define where we're going right now. I mean, you have all your new stores and restaurants in the area. Can that possibly come over towards US1, and will this B2 affect? It will affect it, but how will it affect it would be my question. And so, I don't know if we could defer this. I don't feel comfortable voting on this right now. I would like to, because it's 312 and it's an important street for us. I don't feel comfortable voting on it, even though if we must. I don't know if we could defer or something.
I don't know if you have your code there, but if there, I was just looking at the uses that are permitted in the B2. I think the question you're asking is, and I think Councilman Shelley is asking the same question, is what other uses are allowed in the B2 district. And as Sergio said, it's not heavy industry, but there are some fairly intense uses that are allowed in B2. And I mean, in terms of the things you're asking about, billiard rooms, pool rooms, bowling alleys, catering, dance halls, dog and pet hospitals, dressmaking, drive-in theaters, dry cleaning, fruit stores, funeral homes, laundries, medical laboratories, nurseries, pet shops, printing, rentals, repair shops, self-service ice stations, self-service storage, shoe repair, tailored telegraph station, tires. So it's a fairly, there's some fairly, things that I would consider fairly intense, but.
And maybe that this applicant is not going to change it, it'll stay, but I'm concerned where there's some property that's been sold lately next to a little strip mall for the Sky Vista, and there's still a little open land there, so it's, just want to make sure that we don't really start changing the face of 312 too much.
Well, the other thing is that because it's a rezoning, you're really not allowed to have, put a condition on it. But sometimes applicants, in this case, it seems that their purpose is self-storage. Applicants voluntarily offer a covenant that runs with the land that says it's going to be used for a particular purpose. And I don't know if the applicant's here this evening, but
that was my question.
I mean, I'm all for. I mean, I'm a business owner, and I like the sense of what we can expand, for the business. It's done good for our community. So what they want to do, I agree with. It's a good thing because, it's the closest one to my house and to many in our community that need just some self-storage. My concern is just with the changing of the B2 and.
Let's hear from the applicant.
Is there? Okay.
Yes, take the name and address, please.
Good evening, Michael Bromley, 1590 Northeast 8th Street.
Excuse me, sir. I need to swear you in.
I'm sorry.
Would you raise your right hand? I state your name.
I, Michael Bromley.
Hereby swear or affirm.
Hereby swear or affirm.
That the information I present.
That the information I present.
Shall be the truth and nothing but the truth.
Shall be the truth and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Yes, I guess there's some question, obviously, about the future development in the event there's a subsequent owner to the property. This came up, sorry, I'm a little rusty, but the gentleman, I believe that's standing behind the cameraman, is he a city attorney as well? Jack? Yes. I'm not represented by counsel tonight, but the city attorney was present for the staff meeting, I believe, and I think pointed out there was some of the same questions that came up, and I guess the attorney had pointed out the fact that there certainly are some limitations, as city manager had pointed out, as far as the future, whatever is developed there with respect to the retail piece in front of Campbell, as well as where we're planning to develop going south. I'm constrained, or I should say we have the perimeter of the property is self-storage already. The reason for the rezoning is because we were originally granted the right to develop the property, but I understand that no longer can we can no longer add to the property with the current zoning designation. So we have to first change the zoning in order to expand the property. At the end of the day, I believe it still needs to be consistent with, and as Mr. Perinos had put it, there was a particular mechanism that I think governs what can go there independent of the zoning designation, if I'm correct.
Question.
Which I believe addresses the councilman's concern about the aesthetics of what eventually would be along Campbell Drive, which is now site plan approved as a Class A retail strip center. I have that approval, yeah. But market conditions are such that just doesn't warrant development now.
And Mr. Mayor, just
Mr. Mullen, go ahead.
If I may, you heard what the council's concerns have been when it comes to the type of uses that we consider intense. Would you proffer that that type of use would not, you would never
certainly
be part of an application coming from you on this property?
I mean, I would need to review a draft or have my attorney discuss it with him. My ultimate objective is simply to expand the climate-controlled self-storage portion of the facility to the south, entirely invisible to Campbell Drive, just an expansion of the building southward at the same height, I believe. And as I said, we already have a grandfathered site plan approval for a Class A 12,000 square foot retail strip center to the north, which is directly along Campbell. That's the extent of our desire.
What I would suggest is this is a first reading. Between now and then, we'll nail down those uses that would be considered more intense, and those through a covenant running with the land, he will proffer that those uses would not be a part of any of application, concerning this property in the future.
I have a few questions. When was it that we changed the zoning on this? Someone in history would be able to tell us why, we changed to B1 as a master plan.
What you have today on this property is actually a property that is legal non-conforming, because that type of use is a use that is not permitted under the B1 zoning district today.
So I'm trying to get a date.
Your action will bring the use of the property into conformance and make it a legal conforming, a use by right.
Mr. Mayor, one last thing, because I don't want to move this along. My only thing is that was why I kind of brought that up, is that this had come through special use permit. So obviously there was some plan in place that they didn't want a B2 zoning back then. Now maybe that's changed because the code's changed, and that was why I was asking your recommendation. But based on the voluntary proffer by the applicant, I'm okay to move this thing forward.
Terry.
Yeah, same here. It's not. I know it's what he wants to do. It's really beneficial for us. I mean, as a business owner, I understand that you want to grow a company and make more profit. I mean, that's America. My concern is just the changing the zoning and.
That your action today might have an impact on future rezonings. That where you want to send a clear message that. There are certain uses that would simply not be permitted along Campbell.
Any further comment before we open the public hearing up?
I just want to say, Mayor,
Sure.
if I may, that we could go ahead and move this forward, and then that gives him time to get with the manager and James, and you can always adjust this again at second reading, but he's been a good citizen and a good business person, and I think we should just move forward with it. And then second reading, you might get it again.
Okay, let's do the proper.
We got to do our homework.
No further comments. I'd like to open the public hearing up. Is anyone here to speak in favor? Seeing none. Anyone here to speak in opposition? Hearing none. I'll ask the council once again. Any final questions? I'll close the public hearing. Roll call vote.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we've done 14, so we'll move over to 15 here. Item tab 15. Let's 15. Entertain a motion to.
Let me read the title, Mr. Mayor. An ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the city's fiscal year budget beginning October 1st, 2009, and ending September 30th, 2010, by increasing both the revenue and expenditure budget by $5,864,913, providing for severability and an effective date.
I move
Motion. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Staff report.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, this item came before you at the Committee of the Whole meeting. We discussed it at length there. It was also brought to you on first reading. We also had a lengthy discussion on first reading. If you would like, I can go into the details of them, of each one of the items that we proposed as an amendment, or
Let me ask, any questions from council? Hearing no questions from council, I'll open the public hearing. Would anyone like to speak in support of the application? Would anyone like to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Any further comments from council? Roll call vote.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item, Sorry. Next item is an ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 32 Design Standards to establish Article 5 Public Art Program, providing for inclusion of the code for conflicts and effective date. This is a second reading and public hearing.
Motion to move.
I'll move it, sir.
Second.
Second.
Thank you.
I
Staff
could, sir.
report.
Go ahead, sorry.
Questions from council?
No, got ahead of you guys, sorry.
Question from council?
No, go ahead with staff report, I got ahead of you.
This ordinance was also discussed at some length during the first reading. After that, went back to the Planning and Zoning Board. They did raise some concerns at their meeting, but in essence, and I'll go into that briefly. In essence, is, historically a number of municipalities have adopted similar guidelines, and it's really an asset to those, has been an asset to those communities. I've seen it personally when used right, and this ordinance is a model ordinance based on what I've seen before. And your end result is gonna, you're gonna have a art in along your public places, even public right-of-ways. Ultimately, will improve the overall aesthetic value of the city to a huge degree. There are guidelines there that we can go into as we go through the discussion. The Planning and Zoning Board's main concern was from my reading of the minutes, and I'm going to ask the city attorney to add anything if I leave anything out, was mainly that they didn't want to add any additional fee or expense to developers or future homeowners. They felt that under the current state of the economy, that paying for the building permit fees and all the impact fees that they have to already pay for, that was enough, and therefore they felt it was unjust or unfair to impose another fee on developers, given the circumstances that we're all living in the market. So they recommended denial. Staff continues to recommend approval. We feel that this is a plus. This is a very good ordinance. At this point, through the ordinance, we establish a number of things. We set the parameters under which and the percentages that we charge depending on the value of the whether it's commercial or residential, the value of the buildings themselves. It excludes the land. It's the construction cost. It also provides for the administration for a committee that will oversee the art that's being proposed, and it also provides 3 ways in which developers can either pay for a fee in lieu the fee, or submit the art, or make it themselves and propose it to the committee. So all those guidelines are outlined in the proposed ordinance. Again, we're recommending approval at this time, and if you have any questions, I'll be.
Questions from council?
Mayor, I have.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
I just want to say this has been discussed for a long time, and I support it completely. I don't think it's going to affect any person with residential, because it excludes land value, and we set a limit of $500,000. And I could only hope and pray that I would see a $500,000 sales price as a realtor on a house. But unfortunately, we know, don't we, that is not going to happen probably in a very long time. So I think the only people that will be affected with this will be the developers, and they're very used to this. It happens in almost every community that I've checked out. They have this. And to go a step further, I'll just add that we even have some grants within our city parks that require that we put art in our city parks. So, and we have 2 coming up, and that's our James Arthur Smith Park and our community center. So, Mr. Burgess, I know you brought this to the city, and I just, hope that we move forward on this. I do think that maybe when you go back to the Planning and Zoning Board, if you could explain in a little more detail, because I know they were concerned about the definition of art. You know, what is going to be the definition of art? Well, there's two processes there. It has to go through a council and it has to go through the city council. So it's not going to be something that's just going to be thrown up there and be so abstract that we have questions as to what it is. So there's a process, and you've done a good job, Mr. Burgess, in putting it together and being patient over the last year.
Thank you.
Any further questions from
Mayor?
council? Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I think that anything that survives this many hearings and this many opinions and inputs, it's been well looked at. To also address the concern about the down economy is, I think, the triggers that we set in, the $500,000 at the for single home and $750,000 for commercial, kind of already gives you an insight that we're looking to put these fees together when the economy is up. I mean, obviously, in a depressed economy, these triggers are not going to happen. So I know we discussed at length the $500,000 and the $750,000. Ultimately, the public purpose and the public use of this program, I think, is phenomenal. So I, too, look forward to a time when we can start collecting some art fees and start to implement that citywide. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from council?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes. Mr.
I just would like to read into the record, County Commissioner Katie Sorensen sent a letter, and I believe you all have it, everybody on the dais has it, and that today. She said that she is delighted to hear that the City of Homestead is pursuing its own art in public places program for the citizens of Homestead. Public art is what gives a city its identity. It represents the essence of the city and greatly contributes to a stimulating and urban environment. And she commends the mayor and city council for taking the initiative in promoting the visual arts and look forward to the adoption of this important ordinance. And I was also forwarded another, if I could just read another from the mayor of Las Vegas. Public art is what makes a city's identity. It represents the essence of the city, and cities that don't have art are sterile and lifeless. Art stimulates our environment. It makes a statement, and this is where our creative juices flow from. Without art, it's just an empty, barren desert, in his case, out there in Las Vegas. So we would have to, I guess, an empty, barren field of agriculture field here. So those are a couple other opinions, and why I'm here tonight. I just want to thank Mr. Efren Nunez, who is a citizen of Homestead, works for Palmetto Bay, who came down here and helped me get this started, I guess probably, 15, 16 months ago. So thank you, Efren, for your help and your guidance with our attorneys and all, and your time in this. Thank you.
Any further questions from council?
Just want to make a comment.
Yes, please.
I know I wrote the question, how do we define art, and I see it here, and I know this has been beat up to death, and I wasn't in council at that time, so I'll put my 2 punches in there as well. I love art. Actually, Technology and Arts Committee is what I'll be heading up soon. Just my question is, and Councilman Burgess had mentioned it, well, we try to define our city and the type of art that we have. I didn't see too much detail in reference to that, and the reason why I say that is because in my head I'm just thinking right now when I drive down Flagler and I see all those roosters and I say, who came up with that? And so that's what I'm seeing right now in the city of Homestead. And so my question is, how are we going to define the art? I mean, I'm wondering, did they have a committee? Did they have people on board? And they say the roosters work, and so. And it defines our city, and I mean, I guess I have to look into that art and to see how it's defining Flagler. But like I said, I just wanted to put my 2 punches in there as well and beat it up a little bit more, and just see if I could make a comment on that, and maybe get some feedback from someone in reference to that. Please, I know we have a.
What they did, if I may, Mayor, at Palmetto Bay, they instituted a master plan. They hired a firm with fees that were collected, paid the firm, so there was no expense to the city. The first, I think you said it was around $7,000, somewhere in that area. I mean, it's been so long, I'm just guessing at that number. And these people came in and kind of set a master plan as to what the community wanted, what the council wanted, and what was art. So if I'm misspeaking, I mean, it's been a long time.
And have we defined that here in Homestead?
Good evening, Mayor and members of the village, City Council. My name is Efren Nunez. I live at 16062 Southwest 287th Street. And I echo your concern because art is subjective. And one of the requirements that our ordinance has is that, which is slightly different from Homestead, is the village requires that each member of the advisory board for the Art and Public Places program be educated or have a bachelor's degree, minimum of a bachelor's degree in either architecture, fine arts, interior design, graphic design. Someone who has an understanding of what art really is. We don't want to have roosters either in Palmetto Bay. And there's a criteria, before you do an installation, it has to be appraised, it has to have a certain dollar value. Besides acquiring art, it's also an investment in your community. Art tends to appreciate and value properties that are usually surrounded where there's an art sculpture piece, their property tends to go up in value. Most of the communities that do have public art programs are usually higher end communities. I mean, Beverly Hills, Laguna Beach, Coral Gables, Miami Beach, just to name a few. I'm happy to hear that now we are moving forth to implementing public art in Homestead, and I think it's just a great asset. And if you have a well-balanced board, I think that will definitely assure what that art component is. And plus, it still has to be approved by the City Council. Once that proposal is brought to you, as it's been approved by the board, the City Council will ultimately make that final recommendation as to whether they approve it or they send it back to the Public Art Board.
Okay. Any further comment from council before we open the public hearing up? Okay, hearing no further, at this time we'll open the public hearing. Is anyone to speak in favor? Here, seeing no one. Anyone to speak in opposition? Hearing and seeing no one. We'll close the public hearing. Any further comment from council? Hearing none.
Mayor.
This time.
Mayor. Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
Before you vote, I need to make one change to the ordinance. On page 9, under section 3241, creation of public art fund, we need to the first sentence says a special banking set of accounts. We need to delete special banking, so it just reads a set of accounts. No reference to banking.
Okay. With that correction, any further comment? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. At 17, and read the ordinance.
16 months later.
The end of that.
An ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 3 Alcoholic Beverages, Section 3-9 Hours of Sale, to amend regulations concerning the hours of sale of alcoholic beverages for off-premises consumption related to packaged stores, amending Section 311 Public Hearing to revise notice requirements for applications for certificate of use for sales of alcoholic beverages, providing for severability, inclusion of the Code of Conflicts, and an effective date. This is the first reading.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to move forward.
I move it.
Second.
Thank you. Second it. Thank you. Staff. Report.
Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, the effect of the ordinance, this ordinance, is to provide for consistency of alcohol sales on Sunday by allowing package stores the ability to sell on Sundays, and to standardize notice requirements for public hearings of applications for certificate of use for alcoholic sales, beverage sales, and the like. The proposed ordinance provides both a minor cleanup to the regulation. And the way the regulation reads today is a little bit confusing. It prohibits the sale of alcohol on Sunday. But we have establishments like BJ's and all of those similar establishments that need they can use the ability to sell, and so we have amended the code accordingly. We're recommending that you approve the proposed changes.
Is this the issue brought before us by BJ's?
Correct.
Okay. Yes. Mayor, questions? Mr. Shelley?
I've been speaking a lot. Mr. Williams. Councilman Williams, you first.
I thank my colleague for that. Thank you. Did you say that they they could not sell during those hours, or that what is the? Because when I read it, to modify would be to sell on Sundays. So in the city, they were prohibited from selling on Sunday during those hours.
Yes. The current code, the way it reads now, it prohibits the sale of alcoholic beverage package on Sundays.
Man, we got a lot of people violating it.
That it has been an enforcement problem for many years, because we want to help the business community, and at the same time we have a code that is going the other way. So in addition to that, is the language in the code is somewhat confusing. So we're bringing clarity and allowing it, consistent with the rest of the county.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Shelley.
My question relates to the notice of the public hearing. I noticed here that we decreased the number of days from 15 to 10, and then the number of feet from 1,000 to 375. I'm kind of always a proponent, the more notice we can give the residents, the better, versus the less. So I'm just curious as to why we're reducing that down. I'm sure some of it's probably cost as far as the actual notice itself, but what is the reason for that? Especially the feet. I think that we should maintain that distance. The more people that know about it, the more informed they are. I think that's better for our residents. Just a concern.
Do you recall what was the rationale for that?
To be consistent with the rest of Chapter 30 zoning code, because all the other courtesy notices deal with 375 feet in 10 days. So it was just for consistency purposes in the planning department, so that all of the applications that come through would be treated similarly and situated.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is only package stores, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Liquor stores?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so BJ's was mentioned.
Yes, they have been the one,
Pusher of it, yeah.
the business that approached us about it.
Mm-hmm. And, I think we should stick to what's in code as far as the notices go, because you can't treat one entity different than another entity. Are there any other package stores? I know there's Sedano's and Publix.
Although Publix, I don't think this Publix I don't think it has a
package store.
No, the one at Oasis does.
Yes, it does.
That's right.
Kind of separate.
Walgreens sells liquor.
So this just allows the ability for these establishments to sell the package.
And right now the hours proposed are from 8 a.m. What are the hours proposed, James?
Between the hours of 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Sundays.
Could we possibly shorten that? Can we make a change to that to say maybe 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. or could we do that, or 1 o'clock to?
It's completely within your legislative discretion to set whatever time you deem is appropriate.
I would feel more comfortable with the limited hours rather than somebody being able to go in there. I'm an old-fashioned girl, rather than just go in there and buy a bottle of vodka before church starts. I mean, I just like to see it be after church. So, 1 o'clock. I would suggest maybe 1 o'clock to 5:30 or 6.
Mr. Mayor, I think this is clear, but we're using the term package stores, but it's because that's what the code uses to package stores, but it's really any vendor in the city that holds a license for the sale of alcoholic beverages off premises. So it's anybody who sells liquor, even though they call them package stores. Certainly BJ's you wouldn't consider a package store, or Walgreens a package store, or the supermarket a package store, but that's just sort of the terminology that's been used. But I wanted to make sure you understood that anybody who's has the alcoholic beverage approval for off-premises consumption would be covered by this, by the amendment that you're making.
Mr. Mayor?
So, yes, Mr. Shelley.
Just the only issue regarding the time frame, I really don't have an opinion one way or another. I'll go with whatever the majority of the council is as far as the times on Sunday. But my only concern would be I want to make sure that we're kind of equal to other communities, Florida City and the nearby surrounding communities, because I don't want our businesses to necessarily be punished for them being able to sell and they're losing business. So that's my only concern. I don't, whatever the majority of the council chooses, I'm okay on the time, but that's just the concern I wanted to raise.
Mr. Mayor, this is a first reading, so if you wanted to have the staff do some research and bring it back to you on second reading as to what neighboring communities could do, that way you could have it part of your staff report when it comes back.
What's the pleasure of the council? Would you like that?
I'm going to vote no either way, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anyone else?
Well, last time this came before council, we got a date. Obviously, it didn't pass because it's coming before us now. Get any history? When's the last time this come up? Was maybe past council members? Is this something that we dealt with then?
It hasn't been in the past couple of years. If I
believe it was in 2007.
When?
I don't recall. We can look in the code book for the legislative history with regard to the section number, but I think it's been quite a number of years before you've made any significant changes to this section of your code.
And if I may, Mayor, I think the stores that are asking for this are new to the area within the last 4 or 5 years, so it would have been, that they're here asking for it now. The BJ's with their store and Mega Discount Liquor across the street at Sedano's and Publix are all relatively new.
I just think that this is be my opinion, but I just think that we're already trained in the sense of Saturday being get your booze the day before, and then Sunday put there for a reason. Family day, I think. So just want to put that on the record. So I'm not going to support this.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know what the amendment was, but the last
Either
time
way,
the
same
section
thing.
was amended was in August of '07. But I don't. The code doesn't show exactly what was amended, but that was the last time it was amended.
So, Mayor.
So if we're going to vote it down, we have an opinion what the time should be? Consensus?
Well, or just, if they want to bring it back to us next time with a legislative history, I mean, the more information I have on this, the better it'll be for a vote. So I don't know if there's a clear majority from the conversations that have been held. So let's just get some more information.
Yeah, let's go through the process now. Yes. Any further discussion before we open the public hearing? Hearing no further discussion? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm really not, no. Thank you, I appreciate the time.
Okay.
I'm split on this. I mean, before Councilman Shelley said it, I was thinking it. You don't want to penalize our businesses because then they're going to lose the business. Florida City has the ordinance where they can sell on Sunday, and then the other half of me wants to make a point that Sunday is a church Sunday and the values that go along with that. So I am for doing some more research on this. I do want to see what surrounding communities look like before I vote on this.
So I would make a motion to defer to.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion to defer in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We will defer. 18.
19, 20.
Come on. Let's get on. I'm trying to move fast. Okay, Richard.
I'm looking here. I'm with you. Okay.
An ordinance in the city Homestead, Florida,
amending the city code by amending section 3-2, possession or consumption in public places of chapter 3, alcoholic beverages, to allow alcoholic beverages at certain events at the William F. Bill Dickinson Community Center, providing for severability, inclusion of the code in effect.
No, wait a minute. Mayor, may I have to speak?
And providing an effective date.
Thank you. I entertain a motion to at least.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to move forward. Second.
I'll second it.
Okay, a second, Mr. Burgess. Okay.
May I?
Staff.
Sure. Okay. Well, if you want me to explain it.
Just go ahead.
Okay, Dennis. We're opening the community center on May 8th, and we have a 3,000 square foot banquet room. It's impossible for us to rent out to weddings, to different parties without being able to serve alcohol. It's a private party. They will have to have police there. It's all going to be part of the contracts. That's the purpose. And I'm really sorry that this came up tonight.
Bad timing.
Bad timing.
They'll have to buy it on Saturday, that's all.
But the same thing goes for the FICO Williams. You know, if we're going to have a party and there's going to be, it comes with the territory. And we have this beautiful banquet room, and Dennis and I know we have to rent it. So we came up with this, and I hope he will support it. It's controlled. It's not like going out just having free reign.
And if I might further clarify, the code, the way it reads today, it permits it. We're adding specificity because the code also mentions that it's permitted in other park facilities. We're just adding this name to it, just to be specific. It also says that, other public facilities as, approved by the city manager or such. So this, what it does really is the only effect that it has is that it's being more specific, nothing more.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
I just had a little bit of a confusion. In the packet, it referenced ordinance 2007-30-36. When I went on code and doing my homework for this, it didn't exist. But in researching the code for the previous tab, I see that the correct ordinance should be 2007-0936. So now I'm looking for the ordinance that referenced the package stores. And I just want to make that correction. Am I reading it correctly? It references ordinance 2007-1036, and that's incorrect.
Richard?
I would have to check. Maybe the clerk can pull it up on her screen.
Mayor, I have it up on my screen. It says ordinance 2007-0936, which is the possession of consumption in public places, which lists multipurpose pavilion at Harris Field, FICO Williams Community Center, and other governmental property.
There you go, Richard. Okay. Further questions? Hearing no further questions, I'll open the public hearing now. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this issue? Anybody in opposition? Sure, that's what it's for. Come on.
Street again, and I think that new center that's going to open is over by our homes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if they're going to have parties and things like that there. Are there going to be time limits? I mean, if this is approved for people to consume alcohol and have parties and everything, and is there going to be a noise limitation on how loud everything can get as people?
Sunset to sunrise, right?
All-night parties.
I forget what time we said it was going to close. Isn't it 12 or 12 o'clock? And so it's going to be very, very structured.
Okay.
Very structured.
I'm not keeping up on things like I probably should.
Well, we really haven't announced a lot of it yet. The grand opening is May 8th. Please come.
Okay, we will. We just wanted to know, what was going to happen there.
No, it's going to be very structured.
And we're really in favor of it because a lot of different activities that take place, if people would get a permit and go rent a facility, I think it's great, rather than trying to cram all this into small homes and do things in an inconvenient manner to their neighbors.
That's a good point. I'm sure we have operating hours, right?
Yes, you have all.
So I think it's great that we're going to get a center, Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Okay. Hearing no opposition, hearing support, I'll close the public hearing. Any final comments from council? Hearing none, roll call vote.
I've got an ordinance, Mr. Mayor, we need a...
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
That's what I said.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Tab 19. Richard.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, there's two items that I think that, and just for the sake of time, that we could take together because they're both they're both related to the retirement plan. Both of these items, which are tab 21 and pad 22, are, 2020 and 21, are both related to changes to our retirement plans that are mandated by the Internal Revenue Service. No, 19 was passed already. It was withdrawn.
Oh.
So if you want, I can read them both together, and you can take them both on first reading together.
Please. Who was that favor?
An ordinance of the City of Homestead, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinance by amending Chapter 22.5 Retirement Plans, Article 4 Elected Officials Retirement Plan at Section 22.5202 definitions by creating a new Section 22.5207 Federal Tax Provisions to comply with the provisions of the Internal Revenue Code, providing for severability, providing inclusion in the code, providing for conflicts, and an effective date. Next item is the an ordinance of the City of Homestead amending the City Code of Ordinance by amending Chapter 22.5 Retirement Plans, Article 4 new elected officials and senior management retirement system at 22.5302 definitions by creating a new Section 22.5309 Federal Tax Provision to comply with provisions of the Internal Revenue Code, providing for severability, inclusion in the code, conflicts, and effective date. First reading of both ordinances.
Okay, thank you. Motion?
So moved.
Vice Mayor, second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Shelley. We got questions and comments. We're going to skip the staff report. Questions and comments? Hearing no questions and comments, we'll open the public hearing. Any questions in favor?
Mayor, I'm sorry, did you say we're going to get a staff report?
No, we'll skip it. Staff report.
I'm going to ask Jan to cover that.
I think that's pretty much it, Mr. Mayor. These are mandates by the Internal Revenue Service to update our plans. We're advised that they have no substantive effect on the plans.
Okay, is that the staff report? Thank you. Okay. Any further questions from council? Hearing none. Open the public hearing. Any questions in favor? Hearing none. Any questions opposed? Hearing none. Closing the public. Any final questions from council? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Homestead and the Dade County Police Benevolent Association, setting forth the starting salary step for sergeants who are in Step 5 and in Step 6 of the sergeant step plan when promoted to lieutenant position, and specifying benefits that lieutenants assigned to the K-9 unit will receive, authorizing the city manager to sign the memorandum of understanding on behalf of the city and providing for implementation and effective date.
Motion to move forward.
I move.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Burgess. Thank you. Staff report.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the City Council, this is pretty much self-explanatory. What it does is, it prevents a sergeant from making more money than a lieutenant, bottom line. So this will eliminate that conflict.
Mr. Mayor?
And it was done through a memorandum of understanding with the collective bargaining unit, the agreement.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Shelley.
The only question I have is, as it relates to 23.3, Section 23.3, as far as the concept of it, I have no problem with it. I think it's fine. I just want to make sure, as far as a budget standpoint, it says here it's effective January 25th, 2010. So is there anybody that has gotten this promotion that now is going to be entitled to more pay than was budgeted for? Or is that going to be a problem going forward, or is that only being effective going the next budget?
Good question.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Member of Council, the purpose of this was because of a promotion that happened January 25th, and in the changes of the promotion, there was not a lieutenant promoted again, so it was a sergeant, and there'll be the offset and the difference from that. Yes, there will be money back to that lieutenant back to January 25th, but there's money with the changes that have happened in the police department. There's money in the budget to cover that, and that's verified with the chief as well.
So there's really a null effect. It nullifies itself. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yes, any further discussion before we open the public hearing? Hearing none. Public hearing's open. Anyone who'd like to speak in favor? Anyone speak in opposition? This time we'll close the public hearing. Any final questions from council? Hearing none. Roll call vote.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, supporting the efforts of Alan Spitzer and the Spitzer Dodge, Inc. to remain in Homestead as a Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep dealer.
I move to approve the resolution.
Second.
Thank you. Second. Staff? Nothing? We got it?
Well, yeah, Mayor, this is something that I put forward.
Right.
Yeah, so I
Mess it
want
up
to
then.
make sure that as they go and meet, that they had the support from the city in order to bring back the 35 jobs that was taken by, the consolidation of Chrysler and Dodge. So I think this helps our fair city and give them the necessary support. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's...
They have always been a very active part of our community, especially during the race days and, with the track.
Okay. Any further discussion? This time I'll open the public hearing. Anyone who'd like to speak in support? Anyone like to speak in opposition? This time I'll close the public hearing. Any final comment?
Is there someone here tonight? Okay, I want to make sure I knew that.
Would you like to say something, sir?
Hi, my name is Mark Arnold. I live at 2814 Augusta Drive in Homestead. I'm Vice President, the Executive Manager of Spitzer Group. And first, I'd like to thank Mayor for your support so far with the letter and the hundreds of letters that we've received from the businesses and people in the Homestead area. Chrysler kind of abandoned us as a dealer through their bankruptcy, and in doing so, they also abandoned all the customers and the employees that worked and lived here in Homestead. And all we're doing is fighting to get that back, what is ours. It's the first time in history that we can think of anything where personal property was taken away from someone by a company and then awarded to someone else, and that's what they're trying to do. In this case, they basically took it away from us and away from the citizens of Homestead in this area, and basically are forcing you to go to a different dealer of their choice, which their flawed business, in our view, is a flawed business plan. Pretty much is substantiated because they eliminated 1/3 of their dealers and their business is down 1/3, so I think it's common sense that they made a mistake. Basically, we're trying to get our franchise back. At one time, we were one of the largest employers, private employers in South Miami-Dade. Now we're down to like 14, 15 employees. So we've lost 40 or 50 of our family of employees, and we'd like to get them back. And that's what we're fighting for. We have an arbitration hearing on June 21st, and we appreciate your support.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that said, roll call.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, I don't know who has the official clock, but it's 10:30, so if you want to extend the meeting, you need to vote and extend it for a particular period of time.
Let's have 5 minutes to close the meeting anyway. Let's see if anybody's got a quick thing to
Okay.
say. Motion to extend for 5 minutes? Yes.
For 5
I don't
minutes.
care. I'll close it right now.
I'll second.
Second, good.
5
I'll
minutes.
second that for 5 minutes.
Hey, y'all go home just about. Okay.
One thing I need to say.
Report from the manager. Anything you want to throw up there?
I only have one
1
announcement.
minute.
It's going to be a quick one. After a long time, a trying time, I have the honor to offer Dennis Mayton the position of director of the Parks and Recreation Department, effective today. Earlier today, I meant to send you an email, but since we had the meeting,
We don't have time to clap, Dennis.
Got to move on. No discussion.
Go Dennis.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support, and I'm going to do the best I can to make the department shine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, City Attorney, nothing? Okay. Any council? Williams, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mayor.
You got
I'm
1
going to
minute.
take the remaining 4 minutes. Just today was the official close for the census, but the opening for them to knock on your door tomorrow to collect the census. So we need to be mindful that that they are coming. And at last I checked, Florida was last on the list of sending back our responses. So if we could step up the effort to make sure that those responses get back and mailed back. Also, the Southgate Ministerial Alliance will host the Homestead. Well, they're having a combined effort with Homeland Security and Emergency Management that will be down from Washington. That will be holding workshops for hurricane preparedness and disaster relief workshops, so that the community may take part. That will be May the 6th at 7 p.m. at Covenant Missionary Baptist Church in Florida City. And that ends my items today.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Burgess.
Very briefly, I just want to thank Dr. Feldman. He put on a bike ride at the Homestead Senior High this past Saturday and did a great job, and what a great turnout there was. I'll leave it short at that. Special Olympic Law Enforcement Run. Chief, next year I demand that you run with me. I made the run this year, and I want to see you out there with me. And then one other thing on a serious note, I want to say thank you to General Binger, who has been promoted and will be leaving the area and has done such a great job out there at the air base and is moving up to Georgia. So I just want to extend my thanks to him and for all that he's done for the air base and for the community of Homestead. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Labos.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just have one item. With the voting in of the Homestead Housing Authority appointments that we did today, I just want some more information, if the city manager could forward it to me, as to do we have any current openings, and perhaps if there's a presentation coming up to update us with 3 new members that we voted in, just to hear the update as to where Homestead Housing Authority stands and the progress that they've made. Thank you.
Mr. Maldonado.
Yes, a few announcements. Just wanted to echo what Councilman Burgess was. We attended the bike ride put up by Dr. Larry Feldman and the City of Homestead. I want to thank the staff, Dennis, and the staff that went out there to support us, and all the vendors that came out to support the bike ride. And we just want to thank you. Great effort. I spoke to many of the citizens that attended, and they said they would like to see this happen annually, and whether it's with Dr. Feldman or not, that the City of Homestead puts it together, we could work with them. I'd be more than happy to continue that. Just finding out about what happened to this to the gentleman that was riding the bike across the United States here, and to hear that, I just want to thank the citizens of Homestead who stepped up and helped out. It shows that our community cares, and for this to happen, and knowing that he was in our backyard and we were able to step up, I really want to thank Homestead as a whole for stepping in there, all the businesses and the support. Captain Bo, he's gone now, but I'm looking forward to seeing him here. I'm actually happy. I've seen how he works. This guy is he's a tank, and he just we're gonna put in the work in here. I already warned him about that. And then ask Councilman Williams if maybe you want to give Captain Bo a heads up on that May 6th event that you're going to be having down there.
Already done.
Thank you, sir. And Education Committee, we were supposed to have that wrapped up by this council. This council meeting. We just had a setback with the person who was helping me, Patty. She's out right now, and so we will get back on track ASAP on that for the Education Committee. So please bear with us. And last but not least, the NACA which is the foundation that was here helping out in Miami Beach. I spoke with one of the representatives, and they wanted to hold it down here in Homestead, so I would like to direct the city manager to get with me, and let's follow up with I forgot his name right now, but I have his contact information. And all they said they just need a space where they could just kind of set up and put their computers in and try to help our citizens. I think we've all campaigned on that and providing support and relief for our community. We're one of the highest hit in foreclosures. And so if we could bring this effort that, from what I hear, was a success in Miami Beach, if we could replicate that down here in Homestead, I think it would be a good thing for Homestead. So please follow up with that with me. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Shelley.
Yeah, I have a couple of things as well. One, I'll go ahead and piggyback on what Councilman Maldonado just stated, and that was, when that woman got up and spoke today about her loan modification, things that had happened to her, that recurred to me that we did all kind of campaign on what we can do in educating our residents, and so that's something I would like to see as well, some sort of a workshop being presented by the city as far as what are the various programs that are available, how about going to do it, maybe educating our residents about what options are available to them so they have some good, reliable information to go on. The second thing is that we had a presentation not too many meetings ago regarding an individual who wanted to come down and do a downtown master plan, and Commissioner Katie Sorensen had mentioned that she had money available that she wanted to give to us at the City of Homestead. So I want to make sure that we're following up on that and we're staying on top of that to make sure that we can capture any monies that are available and we can do something to maybe put together that downtown master plan in some capacity or some form. So maybe give a report back to us at the next meeting. And lastly, I did receive an email which I did forward to the various individuals regarding customer service this past week. We always have emails that seems like negativity on customer service, and so I'm proud to announce that I got a positive email for the first time since I've been a council person, and they were praising the electric utilities department and the customer service that they received. So I know you guys have been making good strides in trying to accomplish good things there, and it seems to be paying off. So I just wanted to publicly commend you, both Barbara Quinones and Jerry Estrada, for the work that you've done. It is paying off, and it's getting feedback to me as a council person. So I wanted to thank you publicly.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Wallman.
Okay. Dennis, congratulations. Great job. Good choice. Sergio, thank you very much. Customer service, we've been having our meetings. We're seeing results. We're going to have more results coming forth, but I've had great reports from our meetings and the things that we've already put into action. May 1st, our bike festival, second annual bike festival. We need volunteers. Many of you say that you always want to volunteer. Well, now's your time. We need volunteers to man the rest stations and to help with registration. I said May 8th is the community center's grand opening. Dennis, thank you. We get all the food donated. We're going to have free hamburgers and hot dogs and chips and sodas for everybody. The time will be from 12. I'm talking without breathing. 12 to 3, and 1:30 will be the ribbon cutting, and the tours will be going on throughout that 12 to 3 period of time. I also want to say thank you for all the cards and flowers and prayers for my mother. Please keep her in your prayers. She's got a little bit of a recovery. And also, she's been very, very sick. My mother had a stroke, and so I've been a little preoccupied. And just a shout out to Billy from Rexall, because he watches every single council meeting, and he tells me exactly what we do right and what we do wrong. And we love you, Billy, and keep watching and tell us. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy.
Wow, thank you very much. Quickly, Dennis, congratulations. You do a great job. Jan, thank you for tonight. Great presentation. It was really nice to see that the money spent, well spent. And Chief Roll, thank you for taking time the other day to walk downtown from one end to the other. I know how bad your hip hurts, but we did it. We accomplished a lot. We made a lot of people happy, and thank you very much. Motion to adjourn.
Mayor, one quick thing. If I could just get well, I think we all echo this.
Echo that.
Get well wishes to Patty Sullivan, who is in another battle.
Who may be watching tonight. Patty, yes. We love you.
So, anyway, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll make that motion for you.
Thank you. Second. Got it? Done? Aye. Thank you.